All right, we are live, so okay, good.
Heard, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he. Hello, everyone. If you're a new viewer, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, heard, Secret Service rushes rally. In the immediate aftermath, both conservative and liberal-leaning news publications were suspiciously unwilling to say what happened to Trump. They refused to acknowledge the fact that there was a failed assassination attempt on a former US president. Even Joe Biden wouldn't say the words initially.
President, do you think it was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President, with the security failing
the president stopping?
Following the incident, many low vibrational individuals shared their disappointment that the gunman missed, including Jack Black's bandmate.
Don't miss Trump next time.
I didn't think it was funny at all, and I saw many people on the left who accused Trump of staging this for publicity. Most notably, no one's favorite person, Amanda Seales.
That was more staged than a Tyler Perry production of Medea Runs for President. Pop, pop, pop. Where'd the blood come from?
For the record, clearly this was not staged for publicity. Trump was injured, 2 men in the stands were injured, and 1 man lost his life protecting his family. I would like to give my condolences to the family of Corey Comparator. He was a father of 2 daughters and he was a firefighter. A GoFundMe was started for the family, and so far it has raised over $4 million. His life was real, his untimely death was real, and it's incredibly insensitive for people to claim that this was staged. You know, leftists are usually the ones who label anyone who entertains a conspiracy theory a right-wing nut job. So what does that make them? While I don't agree that this event was staged, I do agree that there's something off about it. The more information we get is the more questions I have. And so I want to go over all of the information we have so far. And at the end of the video, I have a very eerie clip to show you guys of a man who accurately predicted the shooting of Donald Trump 4 months ago. But first, I want to talk about the gunman, Thomas Matthew Crooks. As of the making of this video, the FBI says they have found no clear motive for why he attempted to kill President Trump. Crooks apparently had no social media presence despite being 20 years old, which in and of itself is suspicious. We've been told the only social media platform he used was Discord, and the FBI says they didn't find anything incriminating on his Discord account. Also, Discord has since deleted his account following the shooting. So there's that. The FBI has not found a manifesto explaining his motivations. Crooks had no criminal history, no reported history of mental illness, and no one has come forward with any useful information about why he would target former President Trump. One of his former classmates came forward and said that Crooks was often bullied for the clothes that he wore and for wearing a COVID mask. However, a guidance counselor from the high school who says he knew Crooks very well and his sister very well told the Washington Post that that isn't true. Jim Knapp, who worked at Bethel Park High School for 30 years, said he was Crooks' guidance counselor for the last 3 years at the school. He described his former student as quiet, intelligent, cooperative, and well-spoken. Knapp said he noticed that Crooks spent most of his time with a group of about 5 boys. During Crooks' sophomore year, he would often sit alone in the cafeteria. Knapp said he later learned that Crooks' schedule that year did not align with that of his closest friends. Knapp said he would check in on Crooks and ask if he could join him at the lunch table. In response, Knapp recalled, Crooks would say, "No, I'm okay, Mr. Knapp. I'll just sit here by myself." Then he would return to his phone to play games. The counselor described that behavior as normal for a high school student. Throughout the junior and senior year, he said, Crooks ate lunch with his friends. Knapp said he chose to talk publicly about his relationship to Crooks because of reports that the young man had been bullied at high school, allegations that the guidance counselor adamantly denies. "I know for a fact he wasn't bullied in school," Knapp said, "because if he were, I would have known about it." Crooks lived about an hour away from where the rally was held. He lived at home with both of his parents, who, ironically, are both registered social workers. I say ironically because they're supposed to be trained in identifying like psychological distress or a troubled individual, but they seem to have not noticed that their son was spending an increasing amount of time at the local shooting range where he had a membership, nor did they notice he was building explosives in his room. According to the FBI, when reviewing Crooks' shipping history to the house, they discovered that over the last few months, Crooks had received several packages and some were marked as containing hazardous material. On the day of the shooting, they found an explosive device in his home. They found 2 explosive devices in his car, and in his pockets, they found a transmitter to detonate the bombs, presumably to detonate the bombs that were inside of his car, which was parked outside of the rally. One thing that they didn't find was ID. He had no ID in his pocket, no ID amongst his belongings. So you know what they did? According to reports, they ID'd him using DNA and facial recognition. Pardon? First of all, how do you accurately do facial recognition on a person after you shot them in the face? I can't show you the pictures, but they are on Twitter. Secondly, I thought you had to be in a criminal database for them to cross-reference your DNA. Crooks had no criminal record, so how did they already have his DNA to ID him? Maybe someone can explain that to me in the comment section, because I don't understand. Unless he previously voluntarily gave his DNA to the CODIS system, how did the FBI ID him using DNA? And how did they do it so quickly? We knew his identity after an hour or so. How, Sway?
Yourself. How, Sway?
You know what else the FBI said they found amongst his belongings? They said they found a receipt for Home Depot, a receipt for a 5-foot ladder that he purchased from Home Depot. And they say that was the ladder that he used to climb the building and access the roof. I'm not a ladderologist, but how the is that a 5-foot ladder? The math is not mathing. You're telling me that building is 5 feet tall? Who works in there, hobbits? Just to confirm, I'm not crazy. I went to the Home Depot website. I selected the one in Butler, Pennsylvania, and I filtered for a 5-foot ladder. A 5-foot ladder has 4 steps on it. When I filtered for a 10-foot ladder, I found this ladder, which was identical and has the same number of steps. So he did not use a 5-foot ladder. That's a lie. Now you have to ask yourself, why would they lie about the fact that he bought a 5-foot ladder? And if they're willing to lie about something that is so fucking obvious, what else are they lying about? So you're telling me he transported a 10-foot ladder in a Hyundai Sonata and no one noticed? Like, is the car even 10 feet long? If you were to transport a 10-foot ladder in that car, you would have to have the trunk open. That's pretty noticeable. No one noticed that. And so he then parked his car outside of the rally, removed a 10-foot ladder, carried a 10-foot ladder all the way to that point and set it up, and no one noticed? According to news reports, this is not me saying this. This is Fox News and CNN. They said he bought the ladder the day of the rally. So you're telling me he carried a 10-foot ladder in broad daylight from his car all the way to that building and no one noticed? It's impossible. Unless he has access to an invisibility cloak, someone else helped him. Mind you, this building, the one he climbed on top of, was a law enforcement command center, and there were 3 counter snipers inside of the building while he was doing all of this, and none of them had been ordered to secure the roof. They all stayed inside of the building and they looked out the window towards the rally. And when the director of the Secret Service, a woman named Kimberly Cheadle, was asked why they didn't station any counter snipers on top of the roof, she said the reason was because it was too steep and she was concerned for their safety. Pardon? They were standing on it after they shot Crooks and they seemed fine. And what about these snipers who are stationed on a roof with a steeper slope? One officer that was inside that building says that he saw Crooks walking around on the ground, and at that time he was empty-handed. Crooks was checking out the roof and then he left. Crooks then returned to the building, sat down, and looked at his phone. At this time, one of the snipers that was inside the building noticed, and he took a picture of Crooks, but he did not confront him. Crooks then took out a rangefinder and began using it to choose a spot to shoot from. At this time, the same sniper who had just taken his photo saw Crooks using the rangefinder, and he radioed to a command post about Crooks' suspicious behavior, but still no one confronted him. Crooks then left again and returned with a backpack. Secret Service snipers again alerted their command post about Crooks' actions, but still they didn't confront him. Why? This kid was as discreet as the lip filler in Kylie Jenner's lips. You can't miss it. The Secret Service literally watched him step by step prepare to assassinate the president, and they just sat there radioing each other and texting each other pictures like, hey, do you see that suspicious guy? Yeah, I see him. Okay, yeah, I'll keep an eye on him. Okay, yeah, me too. These guys were as useless as a 90-year-old security guard at a bank. You know he's not going to prevent a robbery. He's just going to be another witness. That's what these guys were, another witness. Several people at the rally saw Crooks climbing up the ladder onto the roof, and they notified law enforcement.
We noticed a guy bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
Right.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. Next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
This photo shows the building he used to get a vantage point of the rally. Crooks was approximately 130 meters away from the stage. There's also this photo, which shows him moving around on the roof. This photo was taken by a counter sniper at 5:45 p.m., 26 minutes before Crooks opened fire on the rally. Milk Bar TV put together a real-time compilation video. This video syncs together angles of the event from different people's perspectives, so you can see just how much time the Secret Service had to neutralize the threat, but they didn't. Take a look.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something to say, take a look what happened.
I hope he's turning this way. Be careful.
As you can see in the video, the snipers had their guns focused on Crooks, but they didn't shoot until he shot first. Why wait? Maybe it was incompetence, or maybe it was something more nefarious. Now, here's where we go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. There were other rooftops nearby that the Secret Service failed to secure. Is it possible that there was a second shooter either on the roof of the community center or on the water tower, and Crooks is just a patsy?
Sources were telling me that Secret Service identified the bullets being fired, which came from about 488 yards away. Yards, not feet, yards. Yesterday, another source brought me some great information showing that the Butler Gymnastics Club is precisely that same distance away, about 488 yards away. This is all from a vantage point facing the stage where President Trump was located, the Trump stage, Thomas Crooks' roof location, and Butler Gymnastics
We're at.
When did buying groceries become a competitive sport? Things cost more and have fewer servings, while corporations make record profits. Senator Bob Casey is fighting price gouging to save Pennsylvanians money. Tell him to keep fighting for us.
And then they got President Trump down, Secret Service did, and they took him out of there and got him.
Watch this, dude. Watch. She sits down. Yep.
A woman at the rally was standing behind Trump and appears to have been bracing for something before any shots were fired, and she seemed quite unfazed.
Watch this, dude. Watch. Watch. She sits down. Yep. Watch this.
If you want to
Puts the sign up.
something that said, take a look at what happened.
Shots go off.
She's completely normal. And then watch.
And then she's got her.
What the fuck? What the fuck? People are freaking out.
And she's filming.
And she's just like right there.
And there's this clip of a Secret Service agent talking on his headset while they are escorting Trump into a vehicle. The guy then points his gun at
All right. Good afternoon, folks. Once again, let me see. Can you all hear me? Because yesterday, hey Nkrumah, how you doing? If you can hear me, just tap something yes, because yesterday I had the same issue. I was doing another presentation, but my computer couldn't function because no one could hear me. So Nkrumah, if you are hearing me, just tap something that you are, and then I can continue. Okay, very good. We're good. All right. So once again, my name is Frank. I'm at the backstage, but I'm going to come on. I want for this video to finish. It's something that I want to show here, and that's the reason why the video is still on. As you can see it. So let me say this before I continue. Right. Today's presentation is not a presentation campaigning for Trump. Neither it is a presentation campaigning for Joe Biden. So it is not a presentation campaigning for Republican, and it is not a presentation campaigning for the Republican, let's say the Democrat, neither independent, neither Tea Party or whatsoever you might call them. Now, today's presentation is based on examining the attempted assassination of Donald Trump and making the African nations and the African continent to understand, despite when you are having your election, calling on Westerners, calling on American, how they call it, diplomat or observer, right? Calling on European diplomat or observer, right? Now, today's presentation is an eye-opening to charge you people, and we've been saying it, the U.S. does not practice democracy. They do not know what democracy is. They do not understand what democracy is, and they will never accept democracy. Again, I repeat, they will never, ever accept democracy. What they show to the world is quasi-democracy. What am I saying here is, Africans, there are problems all around. There is no nation in the world that will say they do not have problem when it comes to election, because we are focused on election. So I'm going to focus on election. Now, there is no nation in the world that will say they do not struggle when it comes to election. They do not struggle when it comes to power. Every nation in the world suffer from power greed, from power struggle. Every nation in the world, including the U.S. Now, there is no nation in the world that won't have, how they call it, election fraud. Even the American election is a fraud. And this is one you saw here. Now, what am I saying here is, no matter how difficult it is that we have on the African continent when it comes to our election, we ourselves should strengthen it, should stand by it, go by it, and be answerable to it. Then inviting Washington, D.C. observer, Europe observer, Australia observer, China observer, so-called international, how they call it, community observer. It is now productive, and it will never be productive. There will always be power struggle in any nation where powers are being shared between people, where somebody have to leave and another person come in. And these are some of the reasons when you look at the traditional Africa, we have our kings and queens, who ruled until they died, and those rulership was even far more better than having so-called frequent election. Now, with this Donald Trump assassination attempt, it has been widely believed that it was a stage thing by Donald Trump or the Republican, right? Now, this is WCC. Before we speak on anything, we make sure we check the opinion aspect. And that's why you will see me showing some videos here for people of opinion to see. Now, we, the WCC family, if we do not have full information, if we do not have the facts, we will never present. We make sure we gather it, we present it. Now, we want to show some video here today that will show opinion. And then before we come out with the facts. So be with me. Now, look at this video here, right? People are saying it was staged, right? Look at this video in the first place. Someone is being shot at. And you have these Secret Service officers or personnel pointing fingers at the former president. Now, again, this is not a campaign for Donald Trump, and this is not a campaign for Joe Biden. I do not even care. And I'm not campaigning for none of them, and I will never campaign for any of them. All right? But let's go to the African continent and any African nations. These are people, they have struggled within their system. They fight each other when it comes to leadership. They fight each other. Now, let me make this. You know, when Donald Trump was in power during the election time, right? When the current Democrat was the opposition. I'm going to use opposition, all right? When they were in the opposition and Republican was the ruling party, right? During election time. Similar thing like this happened at the Capitol building, right? But it was not a rally like this. But again, I just want you to look at the picture of how the media, okay, narrate him. And that is why, okay, I'm going to get to that point. Now, similar thing like this happened. They said it was staged by Donald Trump because he did not want to leave office. He did not want to leave power, right? And throughout, they've been dragging it in court. In fact, the moment that thing happened to the Capitol building, they said it was Donald Trump who orchestrated it. It was Donald Trump who sent people because he did not want to leave power. But with this narrative today, you see how the table turned around? Now, the same people who said Donald Trump planned it, he sent people there, right? They are in power now. Why didn't the media or why didn't they come out to say it was Joe Biden that staged this thing, that sent people, okay, to go and do this because they didn't want to leave power. Joe Biden don't want to leave power. Why is the media, the so-called media, not saying the same thing, not doing the same thing what they did to Donald Trump to say Joe Biden does not want to leave power? That's why he did this against Donald Trump, because he want to take down Donald Trump. Why is the media not saying the same thing? Now, Africans leader, the African continent and any African nations, and to the so-called educated Africans, and to the so-called educated aware Africans, who will always sit down and badmouth African leaders who actually are doing the right thing. They always want to listen to the West because the West governmental system is so vibrant. In fact, it's universal. These Western nations do not believe in democracy. When you are talking about democracy on your continent, in your nations, it is very toxic to set an example of the American democratic system. It is very toxic to look up to the American democratic system. Because if that was the case, the majority rule could have been the ultimate and final decision of the American election. But even with the majority rule in this country, you are not the president until It comes from the electoral college where few people make that decision. It is very toxic to see America as the father of democracy. It is very toxic. They are also fighting among themselves. What is so happening to Donald Trump? It is deeper than you think. And for people to sit down and say it was staged, Donald Trump staged this, you must be delusional. You are part of the problem and you will remain part of the problem forever because you fail to go do your research and you fail to do analysis to see the actual happening of what is going on. There is power struggle within the American democratic system. Just like there is power struggle in Africa, just like there is power struggle in China, just like there is power struggle in Russia, just like there is power struggle in Europe, just like there is power struggle in Australia, in Spain. I mean, all these places, as you can think about it. But these people will come out to bomb off Africa. Oh, Africa does not know how to rule. Africa always struggle for leadership. Africa always struggle who to identify. Africa always do this. Africa always do that. You know, for each time the European and the Western nation want to justify their system, they'll always go to Africa and make Africa look stupid. That's the only way the world see them as the solution to the war. Even in the US, whenever the American justice system want to make the world to know that the American justice system is the best, they go against black people. They use black people as the bait. Because crime committed by black people, white people commit the same crime, but they let them go. But they will use a black man as a bait to prove to the world that the American justice system is the good. Now look at R. Kelly. They use R. Kelly as a bait. And the so-called black nation around there, sitting there, oh, American system, you cannot do this and go away with it. Do you know who R. Kelly saw doing that? That is not to say I'm speaking for R. Kelly, but I want you to look at the reality here. Do you know R. Kelly saw a lot of black, non-black doing the same thing? They were doing it even before R. Kelly got into the musical industry, and he saw them doing it. When he became powerful too and had money, he joined there. They recruited R. Kelly. But do you see them when it comes to the justice system here, pointing finger at their own people? They use the black man to tell the world that America justice system is the best. The slave mentality. They still use the slave to tell the world that, hey, look at our system is the best. Anybody do this, we put charges against you. We make sure you go to jail. Look at what they did to Bill Cosby. Was he the only person that did such a thing? Bill Cosby saw other people doing it. If he did it now, I'm not saying he did it. If he did it now. But in reality, what I'm saying here is African leaders, African continent, African nations. We have to stop for each time our elections are coming to come to the West, to invite them to come. Because at the end of the day, the West do not want any independent election in Africa. They do not want any leaders in Africa, okay, that will see the betterment of Africa. Because the betterment of Africa means decolonization. It means no to IMF. It means no to World Bank. It means no to Washington, D.C. It means stop saying yes, sir. It means stop being obedient to the West. So by you inviting them for each time your election time come, you are actually provoking your elections to violence and to be manipulated by the West, because leader of the people will never be chosen. Just how there is power struggle when it comes to the American elections, know that there will all be power struggle in Africa too, or in any black nation. That does not mean we should invite these people, because they do not believe in democracy. What I'm about to show you here today, if indeed America believed in democracy, what happened to Donald Trump? It wouldn't have happened. What am I saying here? The alligator will eat a baby. If the alligator feed that, he or she is losing her territory. And if the alligator feed that, her baby or his baby is a threat for him or her losing her territory. right? Or losing her empire. She will see her own baby as an enemy and she will eat her own baby. What am I saying here? All those people are the radic. These people didn't care about their life. Let's get into it here.
At Trump for a moment, and then he puts it down. Another piece of information that has surfaced, which has caused suspicion about Crooks, was an appearance he made in a BlackRock commercial. If you're not familiar with who BlackRock is and what they do, this video will explain it.
There's a good chance you've never heard of BlackRock. Founded in only 1988, in less than 30 years, this American financial firm would grow to become the company that owns the world, managing assets worth $6.3 trillion. And that's just the beginning. BlackRock has also developed a software platform called Aladdin to perform risk analysis for its clients. It receives sensitive data from banks, insurance companies, and other important institutions. Through Aladdin, BlackRock has insights about the management of financial assets worth another $20 trillion. 2018, BlackRock's founder and chairman, Larry Fink, sent a letter to all of the CEOs of the companies BlackRock is invested in, asking them to do more than deliver financial performance and make a positive contribution to society. So BlackRock not only owns the world, it
July 12th, the day before the Trump rally, an investment company called Austin Private Wealth LLC bought 12 million put options of Trump Media and Technology Group Corp. This type of investment indicates they anticipated something would cause a drop in the value of DJT stock, something like the assassination of Trump. Since this information has come to light, when you go on the austinprivatewealth.com website, they have this notice. The SEC filing, which showed that Austin Private Wealth shorted a large number of shares of Trump Media and Technology Group Corp, was incorrect, and we immediately amended it as soon as we learned of the error. No client of APW holds or has ever held a put on DGT in the quantity initially reported. The correct holding amount was 12 contracts or 1,200 shares, not 12 million shares, as we filed in error. How convenient. It could just be a coincidence, but an astonishing coincidence it is. The FBI insists that Crooks was a lone shooter. They investigated his vehicle, they investigated his home, they took his laptop, they took his cell phone, and they have unlocked his cell phone, and they say they found no useful information. They are still analyzing his laptop, and I predict they will once again tell us that they found no useful information. But I want to end this video with this very eerie clip. A video featuring a man named Brandon Biggs has resurfaced, and this video was uploaded to YouTube 4 months ago. And just listen to what he said.
He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's when
Again, while I'm still backstage, right? I will come on. The video will be taken down. But look at this. Like the lady said in the video, right? This was a prophecy, because there's a question I want to ask here, and then we'll take this video down. This was a prophecy, okay, about Donald Trump, that he will be, how do you call it, shot at. All right? Now, people who are saying this was staged, are they telling us that if it was staged, Daniel Trump he told this man here, right, 4 months ago, that doing one of my rally is going to be staged, and there will be someone who will come, acting that they're about to shoot me, right? I'm just trying to open your mind, because 4 months ago, this man had a dream, this man had a prophecy, and that's a prophecy he's explaining. This is not a prophecy that was done before after the shooting. This was done before the shooting 4 months ago. And he explained exactly what happened to Donald Trump, or what was going to happen. What happened to Donald Trump that you saw in recent video, he explained exactly how it was going to happen and where he was going to be shot at. Now, again, another question could be, is this actually a prophecy? Or this individual, somebody told him something about the assassination of Donald Trump, and he came on social media or on air to say it was a prophecy. Hello? Could it be that this man here, someone have already told him secretly that there is an assassination attempt or murder plot against Donald Trump, and this man came and sat here 4 months ago, and then I think that he's prophesying. I think that something revealed to him in his dream. Let's continue here.
I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his drum.
You heard that? This is a prophecy. This prophecy, according to this, it happened 4 months ago, before the incident recently of Donald Trump. And you see where Donald Trump was shot, right to the ear. And you see exactly the description he's giving where Donald Trump was going to be shot. Did you see that? Folks, there is power struggle here. And the reason why there is power struggle, let me tell you this. Donald Trump is unwanted by the political elite because they feel Donald Trump talk. They feel that he talk too much. That's why they don't want him. And by the way, they have also said that they are going to blow Donald Trump's hair off. Biden said it. Obama said it. And how they call it, other media, they said it, that they were going to blow Donald Trump's head off. Okay? This is WCC. We want to show them here today. Had it been that it was Donald Trump in power, they were going to say this, they were going to say, oh, he don't want to leave power. That's what they did. Right? But do you see how? Let's continue here, by the way. Let's continue.
Eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. I saw him winning the presidency through great the Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash. Yeah. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash, worse than the Great Depression.
Some people say it was luck that saved Trump's life, and some people say it was divine intervention. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you liked this
all right, I'm on stage now, right? Okay, so you saw that video that was done 4 months ago, the video you just watched right now, right? It was done 4 months ago, and that was a prophecy, all right? That was done, or that was said by a man who saw what was going to happen with Donald Trump. Again, the question here is, was it truly a prophecy, or it was actually planned to kill Donald Trump, to assassinate Donald Trump, and someone actually secret this guy that, oh, there is a plot against Donald Trump to assassinate him. And then this man came, put a story together to say he had a dream. He had a revelation that came to him. It could be a prophecy that came to him, all right? Or it could be someone told him that Donald Trump was going to be assassinated. And he came to say it was a prophecy. Both ways. So now, to those who says this was staged, let me give you another scenario. How can this be staged, right? Before we go to the topics or before we get into detail, right? How can it be a stage issue or how they call it planting, right? Now, the guy who did the shooting, there was multiple shooters, but we're going to focus on the guy who did the shooting for now, okay, for clarity. The guy who did the shooting, like the lady said in the video, right? Now, reporters are saying this guy went to, how they call it, Walmart, bought a 5-foot, 10-foot ladder, right? And he came and went with it in the facility. Now, before the rally, okay, let's say tomorrow is the rally. Today, that facility, okay, it is a facility, it is a building that is being used, all right, to manufacture, right? Now, if the rally, let's say, is tomorrow, today, that building will not be useful by the manufacturer, okay, because tomorrow there will be event coming, especially just an event. So what's going to happen here is all employers, all employees, right, will not go to work. That building will be used by the CIA and by local officers, or how they call it, personnel, okay, in our country or in our district, along with the Secret Service or 7, whatever they call them. They will go in that building, examine the building, and which, of course, I know they did because one of the Secret Service, how they call it, director said the building was slopey and it was sloped or whatsoever, right? So that means they have went in there and they examined it, okay? And they knew the condition whatsoever it was, okay? So they went in there like today, examined it, okay? And then they examined every possible location of holes where someone can go. Not only that, they have already examined where snapper will be. Like they examine the building and they be like, okay, you know what? We need, like, for example, 5 snapper. One gonna be here, right behind Donald Trump over the building and fixing straight the crowd. And another person gonna be on the other side, and another person gonna be on the other side. All those examinations are being examined or done today. And then they look at the building itself, examine the building, where security personnel are going to be, okay, where people will not see them and where security will be visible or invisible. They examine all of that. And then come OSA, examine OSA, right, to every gate, every entrance, examine it, right? That's their job, especially for a former president who is still part of the United States presidency, even though he's former president, but he still make decisions, all right? He's still first-class citizens, okay? He's still under there, all right? The same way privilege is being given to Obama, privilege is being given to George Bush, privilege should be given to Donald Trump. The same, okay? Now, let's continue. Now, on the day of the event, okay? On the day of the event, there are Secret Service. They charge you, okay? They look at everything. I'm sure they did that, okay? I'm sure they did that. If they did that, how did this man enter the building with rifle? Not only that, how occasion like that, okay, on that day, there is no more construction work to say I'm taking ladder in there. No more construction work. And not only that, right? Before the rally or before campaign, security going to come in today and security going to sleep there. It's not like security going to examine and then they go home. No, that's what they are trained for. Security going to sleep there and security going to be there until the rallies, how they call it, start, the rally end, and security will be the last to leave after everybody have left. So are they telling us that when they examine the place, they left? And then this individual came in with his ladder. Or when did this individual go in with a big ladder like that to go do what? No one doing construction work. So are they telling us the day of the rally, it was the day this individual took the 10-foot tall ladders and went and put it to the building to go on top of the roof? This was an assassination attempt because of power struggle. You so-called Africans like to come to Washington, D.C. and be asking Washington, D.C. for how to call it, delegate for U.S. official, U.S. this, U.S. that. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. These people do not believe in democracy. If not, they would allow Donald Trump to exercise his fully due democratic right. Who want to vote for him? Let them vote for him. Because the Democrats know that they have failed. They know that the black voters are no longer saying my name on screen is not buried with the Democrat. I can choose to vote who I want to vote for. And they have seen that black voters are waking up, are no longer on their side. This was an assassination attempt deep to take this man down. Let's continue here. So how this man got on top of the building? I thought they had snapper on top of the building. Now, they said the building was slopey and it was not good for security to go out there. But this man that did the shooting was never a trained security personnel. If this man went out there, then how can a trained security personnel who did all this training, who went on slope, who climbed mountain, could not have gone up there to protect this man? Are you getting the picture? Let's continue here. I'm just saying this because some of you so-called black voters, you have not yet getting the picture. And let me say this. Let me say this clear. By the way, you so-called black voters, okay, who have not yet getting the picture. Like I said, I'm not campaigning for Donald Trump or Nina Biden, okay? I'm campaigning for the interests of my people and for myself, all right? Now, it is not because Donald Trump is racist, as they have portrayed him to be, right? It is not because Donald Trump hates black people as they have portrayed him to be. That Democrat is fighting for you, because that's how they're going to say to, they just want to get your vote. They will come. Oh, don't vote for Donald Trump, vote for Democrat because Donald Trump do not like, because when you watch the commercial, okay, these Facebook pop-up things, when you watch it, everything about the Biden campaign is all about how Donald Trump hates black people, how Donald Trump is racist, how Donald Trump is this, how Donald Trump is that. Why can't they say Donald Trump does not like the white? So only black people Donald Trump hate. So we Democrat target black voters. My point here is, if you think it is because of the view or the issue with Donald Trump when it comes to black people, that's why the Democrats are saying they do not want Donald Trump because they want the betterment for black people. What have they done when it comes to reparation? Have Democrats answered your question or your call when it comes to reparation? Have they answered your call when you go to them asking for reparation? The same Biden said he does not believe in how they call it reparation. Have they answered your call? But in less than a day or an hour, they can send over billions of dollars to go to Ukraine, to go to Asia, to go to fight war. But if they care about you, they would have answered your call to reparation. Joe Biden is as racist as Donald Trump. The difference with them, like Malcolm X said, the conservative and the liberal, right? The difference with Joe Biden and Donald Trump is a man that rebuke openly. That means he tell you openly he don't like you. And the reality here is, open rebuke is better than secret rebuke. Joe Biden is a man that love you, that like to add that he love you, but he does not. That's a secret rebuke. Joe Biden rebuke you secretly, and Donald Trump rebuke you openly. Which one of them do you like? Secret rebuke or open rebuke? I think I would love open rebuke than secret rebuke. That's the difference with them. But they are the same. Let's continue here to the video now. I know I have talked plenty, but today we're going to reveal that this was not a stage thing. It was planned to assassinate Donald Trump. So I'm going to show a couple of videos before we can get to the article. and see the communication between the Secret Service and the local authority. All right?
Assassinate President Trump. That he was a lone gunman, right? That's the official story. There's now overwhelming evidence to overturn that official story and raise serious questions that at the very least he had help, and at the most there were multiple shooters. We spoke to an eyewitness who was in the bleachers behind President Trump. She witnessed Corey being shot and killed, and saw gunshots hitting multiple locations. And we're going to share that interview with you here in a moment. It's shocking. It's heartbreaking. She's an amazing woman. She comes from an amazing family. And we're going to hear her story in a second. It'll blow your mind. Now, first, though, moments ago, the House of Representatives subpoenaed the director of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle. Here is from Congress of the United States of America and the House of Representatives and the Committee on Oversight and Accountability and Congressman Comer's office, saying that, wait a minute, you were going to appear, testify before Congress on Monday about the failure of the Secret Service, but now it looks like Alejandro Mayorkas, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, has stepped in and will not allow her to testify. What? Really? What is Alejandro Mayorkas trying to prevent her from saying in front of Congress?
Well, it's interesting, on the same day that DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, says we're going to do our own investigation, meaning Congress, we don't really need you. You don't need her. We've got this. So you need to step back. She actually doesn't need a congressional testimony. She doesn't need to be photographed or videotaped answering real questions. We're on this one.
Someone in the chat says, Clayton forgot to shave today. No, I didn't. I intentionally didn't shave today. You want to hear a story? The other day, I shaved and cut my nose wide open, and blood was pouring for like 20 minutes, like an hour. I couldn't stop it.
Yes, so I had to run to the drugstore and get him a styptic pen.
So I'm holding off on the shaving for a few days.
So he's rocking the 5 o'clock shadow
I got the
on
5 o'clock.
purpose.
Yeah, it's not unintentional. Thanks to the chat for being eagle-eyed, though. I appreciate that. So now, according to the subpoena, Kimberly Cheatle was set to testify. She's not any longer, and so now as you point out, Congress is saying we're going to take matters into our own hand. We're going to subpoena. We want all of the diagrams, photos, aerial information, communication that you guys had on the day and leading up to this event. Fascinating. So we'll see if we get answers from Congress on this.
Including what was the plan? We know what was executed. We know where people were and where people were not. Quite obviously not, right?
Yeah.
But was there a different plan? Because there are some people, including Dan Bongino, who was former Secret Service agent, saying, oh, no, there was a plan to have people on that roof. So what happened?
She stood them down. Right. We now know she stood them down. They were told to stand down and not go on that roof for their safety because of a sloping roof, which is, okay, that's now her responsibility. That's her fault. Why did she ask them to stand down and not go on that sloped roof?
Right.
Which everyone is mocking now, of course. So you need to ask yourself.
Are everything, though, about the slope. I'm at least having fun with that. I hope you are, too.
Yeah, if you're watching on Twitter, you see the cows on slanted roof.
She seems very sad.
Hi, everybody. Eric Trump. I want to thank you so much for the tremendous support of my father. He's an amazing guy.
She knew the Nord Stream pipeline would not go into effect. That's strange.
Government and the CIA. So other than that connection, who knows? But again, they want you to believe that he's the guy, right? Thomas Crooks. They want you to believe that he's the shooter, right? Meanwhile, CBS is reporting that a detonator was found on Crooks's body right next to where his body was shot and killed on that rooftop. His parents also called police on the day of the rally. Really? He's missing? He's 20 years old?
We're learning the shooter's parents called law enforcement on the day of the rally to say they couldn't find their son. We know they're cooperating with law enforcement, and this comes as a new photograph obtained by local station WPXI shows a detonator device found next to Thomas Matthew Crooks' body after the attempted assassination. Crooks had explosives inside his car, found parked near the rally, and bomb-making materials inside his home. The alarming photo raises questions about whether Crooks had other plans as he opened fire. Less than 200 yards away from the rally stage, while positioned on a rooftop, which the Secret Service says was within the perimeter delegated to local law enforcement.
And now we're learning that police knew about Crooks 3 hours before the shooting. He came in with a rangefinder, and police and Secret Service said they'd keep an eye on him. They were aware of him. And new video from DC Drano this morning reveals the shooter was walking around 1 hour beforehand. Take a look. So you can see him here in the background there, walking around, scouting out.
All right, so I'm coming in. So, okay, so 3 hours, right, before the rally, the police or the Secret Service knew about this individual. And first of all, they found him with explosives weapon 3 hours to the rally, 3 hours before Donald Trump arrived, right? So security have found this individual already with explosive material, and they still allow him enter the facility. 3 hours for Donald Trump to be there. They found him with explosive material, but they still kept him in there. They released him. They took the explosive material from him, okay? And then they allowed him to be in there. Now, another question. In the video there, right? This is the individual already in here. Now, another question again that we should ask. All right, another question that should be asked. This man is in here already. He does not have weapon because, again, the weapon have been taken away from him, right? So, at this time, local police or local officers are already here. Now, I believe sniper or other Secret Service or CIA or FBI, right? They were already in the building. At the time, Donald Trump was not here. He was still out somewhere else. But you already had the rally goer in here already. And this man is there. Now, later on, this individual climbed the roof. The issue here is, was the weapon that he used, that the weapon that he used was already in the facility? The weapon he used was the weapon already over the building. I want to make point here, folks. I want you to listen. Because at this time, it was the day of the rally. This is not like some 3 days before the rally. It was already the day of the rally. All right. Now, folks, this is not JFK time where technology was not around. All right. When they did their thing and then came out with some fake report and that was it. This is a different time period. All right. With technology. Now, at this time, again, this man is standing here with no weapon, nothing, because the weapon was already taken from him because he had explosive material. They took that from him, right? Okay. And then the Secret Service still allowed this man, after you have taken a weapon from this man coming to a rally. This man coming to a rally with explosive material. You took it from him. And you did not apprehend him to take him to police custody or to turn him over to the local authority. But you took the explosive material from him and you allow him to stay on the facility. Okay, fine. Now, being at the facility here, at this time, there's no weapon. Now, the weapon he used, okay, the weapon he used, was the weapon already over the building? Or the weapon was in the building? Because if it was in the building, Secret Service was already in the building because they were told, according to the story, it was sloping. Not to go, they should all stay down. And if they all were down, that means they were in the building. So, if they were in the building, are they telling us? They saw this man passing in the building to go up there with rifle, and they did not stop him. They allowed him to go. And not only that, the Secret Service in there were in a specific uniform attire to identify each other or to identify them when you see them. Now, this man does not have a uniform. He have a common civilian clothes. And at that time, there was special place for civilian to pass. But this man entered the building and allowed him. So when he was standing here, no weapon. Now going up the building there, where did he pass? With the weapon, they did not see him. Because if you are telling me this man was already in here with no weapon, for example, later on, he went out to his car or whatsoever to go get the weapon. And then he came back. They allowed this man pass with the AR or with the rifle. Pass. All right, we come back. The internet was fluctuating. All right, so they are telling us this man went out and got his rifle and came back again and passed by security without security checking him, right? So he had a weapon on. They check him. The rifle, they check him, and at this time they destroy the rifle and they allow him pass. Now, at what time this man took the rifle out the building? At what time? This was an assassination attempt. This is deeper than we think. This man did not act alone. There is a power struggle here, Africans. The same way this Westerner will come, oh, Africa power struggle. Africa this, that. Africa this, that. Africa this, that. You so-called African leaders on the African continent, this is a time too now to say, America, your democracy is fake. There is power struggle. You do the same thing too. This man did not act alone. In this modern time with technology, this man did not act alone. Secret hand in here to assassinate Donald Trump. Let's continue here.
The location, apparently. This is 1 hour beforehand, walking around, looking up, security. What's this guy doing here? But that's an hour beforehand, 1 hour ahead of time. And police didn't engage him. He was allowed to leave the area. Where's his gun, by the way, at this point? Well, he was actually allowed to leave the area and only return with it was able to come back with a backpack. Eventually climbing on the ladder near that.
All right, so he left and went, got his gun, came with backpack, and security allowed him to enter. They did not check the backpack, or they did check it and they saw it and left it. So now you people are saying it was staged. So are you telling us Donald Trump went and staged this with the FBI? Are you telling us that Donald Trump went and staged this with the CIA? Are you telling us that Donald Trump went and staged this with Department of Justice and also the local authority? Donald Trump went and staged this because, first of all, he's away from all the other rally goer in there. He's away. He's standing by himself, passing around, examining the place. And no security officers went to him to ask him, like, gentlemen, all your friends are on the other side trying to be checked in to go in straight to the rally and to the rally ground. But what are you doing here roaming around by yourself? No security went. And he's examining where to pass, how to get on top of the roof and things, and it allowed him. And when he was done, he went out, got his backpack, loaded with ammunition, and came and passed through security checkpoint. They never stopped him. They never took the bag from him. They never checked the bag, or maybe they checked the bag and they left it, and he went. And not only that, it's deeper than this, folks. So those of you that say, oh, it was staged, it was this. So if it was staged, Donald Trump planned it with the security officers, with the CIA, with the FBI, with the Department of Justice to stage this. Let's continue here.
That HVAC unit onto the structure behind the buildings and then onto the roof.
Well, some reporting says that he went through security check.
He did
and
go
security said,
with a
let's keep
rangefinder.
an eye on him. But then they didn't. But
Right.
then let's, the same way you keep an eye on your kid when you're at a barbecue.
So you bring a rangefinder, which is not maybe altogether that crazy. I mean, after all, you've got a lot of individuals who, are using it to be able to see closer.
Sure.
So that, you want to, like, you wear, use binoculars at a
Yeah.
at a musical or something like that, right? To get a closer view of the stage.
Like at the opera, those were not supposed to bring in food.
As the water tower, multiple eyewitnesses now say the water tower direction. Shots were fired from that location. Multiple eyewitnesses.
And they had been right by the fence where the other shooter was. There was one I heard in the water tower. There was one by the fence.
And still, obviously, initial reports. But what we do know.
First crack of the gunfire, and I just screamed, "It's the sniper! It's the sniper!" And he was firing down toward the water tower.
That's what we're hearing.
Gentleman behind me, I was one seat. He was to the right of me. He could see the sharpshooter behind Trump. He said the sharpshooter shot to the left. He killed the gentleman in the water tower here.
CNN almost had a heart attack yesterday when U.S. Army sniper Corey Mills was on CNN and suggests that the July 13th assassination attempt on Trump could have been a setup. And he also pointed out the water tower, and Kate Baldwin flipped out. She's like, "Oh my, what? You're saying this was a setup?" And he's like, "All the evidence seems to," he's like, "I know, I hate to say it." And they're almost freaking out. What are they going to do? Cut away from him? But here he is, he's done this thousands of times. He's a veteran U.S. Army sniper. And he said, just doesn't add up. There had to be a setup. Watch.
It's thinking to start cutting carbs. I need to drop my belly fat.
If you want to drop this.
I look at all of these things and I look at different videos where an assailant will pull a firearm on a law enforcement officer, and the first thing they do is they immediately pull and draw and mitigate the threat and the risk. I ask why the local law enforcement officer did not do so. The other thing is that when you set up an advanced team, I keep hearing this about the perimeter elements.
Yeah.
The perimeter is actually established by your threats that are in the area. So if I don't have any threats outside of 100 yards, okay, fine, I can cordon off a certain area. But if I have a building 160 yards, perfectly adjacent to the stage, that's an obvious threat, especially with an elevated position that has overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sniper's paradise. And we talk about Eagle's Nest. You also have, which no one talks about, but the water tower.
So what I'm hearing from you is it's not a failure on the ground for sure, but
100%.
also a failure in advance.
I think it's a failure in advance. I think it's a failure to.
So then he dives deeper into the setup and the water tower. It's great. It's 8 minutes long. I encourage you all to watch it. Now,
it didn't come from in front of it. Yes.
So it didn't come from the building that everyone says it's coming from.
Well, see, that's just it. We were in the bleachers. Corey was positioned over here. He was on the far side there was 3 sets of bleachers. Trump was in the middle. We were here. And then there was another set off to the other side. We were in the same set that Corey was in. So he was
Corey, who lost his life, the firefighter
Yes.
who lost his life.
Yes. He was clear to the one end, and we were kind of
All right, sorry, folks. So what she's trying to explain here, right? She was at the rally, at the program. So what she's saying here is there was multiple shooters. So it was not just the guy who did the shooting towards Donald Trump. So what she's saying here is one of the guy that died, he was a firefighter. So Corey, all right? So the shot that killed Corey did not come from the direction of Trump, okay? Where the guy who did the shooting to Trump, it did not come from that direction. So she's giving a description of the shot that killed Corey, where it came from. So that means there was multiple shooter, okay, who went at this rally to commit this locomotion or this incident. So go back to the first video we showed. You saw that the Secret 7 pointing a gun at Donald Trump. He pointed and then took it back. All right. While Donald Trump was on the floor, when they lift him up to carry him, he pointed the gun at Donald Trump. And then he pointed and then pulled it back. Why did he do that? Why did he do that? Could this be that it was a calculated plan that went wrong? So she's saying there was multiple shooter. Then why they are saying only one shooter that they got, he carried on the height? Because she's saying the fire or the shot that killed Corey, it did not come from the shooter that is shot down, that is the Secret Service shot down. It came from another location.
One of the roof, get into position. And prior to that, I said to my husband, okay, we have a 5 o'clock start time. You know, Trump's to speak at 5 o'clock. You know, what's going on here? So Trump, the snipers did not go onto the roof. I look back on my photos last night's time. They didn't go onto the roof till 5:08 is the time I took pictures of them climbing up the roof on the 2 roofs behind us. We only saw 4 snipers positioned that evening. Could there have been more off that we couldn't see? Possibly, but those are the only 4 that we saw. So they get up there. It was around 5:08 when I was recording them, and they kept looking. After they got up there, they kept looking to, you know, straight ahead of them. And down below on the ground, there's like military. But I said to my husband kind of jokingly, I'm like, wow, seems kind of lax, like not that much presence of, you know, like protection right around where Trump is going to be at. For somebody as big as what Trump is, I was a little bit dumbfounded. Like I jokingly said to my friend the day before that, she says, listen, I'm worried about you. I don't want you to go into this. There's crazies everywhere. I said, listen, we're going to the safest place I feel we could be. There's going to be so much Secret Service there, blah, blah, blah. I said, the only thing I'm worried about is my cell phone dying because I don't know if my battery is going to last. Like just joking about it because I seriously, I felt safe. Fast forward ahead a little bit, we get to the point where it's almost time for Trump to come out. And they start, you know, playing different music and everything. And
hot rooms turn icy cold instantly without AC, while slashing electric bills.
Music starts, Trump starts to come out. And of course, we're all focused on him. No, you that's who you're waiting to see. You're not going to look around at anything else around you. You're just focused on him. He comes out, like I said, he talks to my son and his my friend's dad, you know, like they're yelling, we love you, Trump. And he stops and points at him, says, I love you too. And just calm and cool. And he goes out and interacts with some people, goes up and starts talking. And like we're only a few minutes into it. Like he only spoke 10 minutes. Right. It wasn't very long. Yeah. He was speaking at all. So all of a sudden you hear like all this commotion off to our right. And it's just like, but like I said, you're at a Trump rally. It's noisy. People are not quiet at a Trump rally. So I said, I just kind of looked at my husband, gave him like this weird look. And at that point, I think he was more this way than Trump. Like he's starting to get, so we're just sitting there and all of a sudden you heard it. You just hear the gunshots. And sorry. I looked down at my niece and I just yelled at the boys. I said, get Riley. So they dove, they were like, just dove. They just like dog piled on top of her. They're just laying on her, covering her. There was a couple of kids behind us, and I grabbed the little girl, just held her, and I said, I got you. I got you. And I laid on top of her I put her down in the bleachers and where your feet go. And I'm laying on her and I just start praying. Like, please, God, please make sure we're okay. Save us, you know. Sorry, my dog's working. I'm like, please just save us. And I was just trying my hardest to compose myself, but I didn't know. I saw him get shot and I yelled, because you got to think this all took place within a matter of seconds, like seconds. And I yelled back, like where we were at, the bleachers were kind of open. And I yelled back at the security behind us and I yelled, he's been shot. He's been shot. And I think at this time they could all just everybody was stunned. Like nobody had a clue what to do or where to go. And by this time, then they come up around and our set of bleachers was just flooded with cops. Like right now, they just come out of everywhere. Let's just put it this way, where my kids were sitting at, when we look at the pictures of how the bleachers were, I don't know how it missed them, because they were right in line with all of that, just the way everything was going. And yeah, and I am beyond angry. I am beyond frustrated, because this could have been 1000% prevented. There was nobody over there. There was nobody to watch us, and there was nobody to protect us. And when you
All right, there was nobody over there. There was nobody there to protect them. This was a planned assassination attempt. Nobody there, no one to protect. They didn't care about them. Do you think they care? These politicians cares about you? They do not care. They pretend that they care. They do not care. All right. Now let's continue here. We're going to go to the article where the true evidence are. Okay. We're going to go to the article, but I'm bringing these videos so that you can see, actual happening, that you can do your judgment. Because sometimes if you don't see the article, and most of you has done see other, I had to call it, social media platform or listen to the news, and you believe that it was staged, right? But this was not a staged thing. This is a power struggle within the U.S. so-called democratic system. It is a power struggle. It is power greed. Okay, people are fighting over positions. All right, like they always make African people the same, that, oh, African people love power too much. This is about power, and that power have led to taking one of their own down, or attempt to take one of their own down. If they can do it to their own, what do you think doing it to Africans leader will be anything to them? That is why they have no remorse when they're ready to take down African leaders, when they're ready to go against African leaders. Because if they can take down their own, that is why these people have no remorse to go against African leaders. And some of you so-called dumb Africans say that and support it when US speak. Oh, the white man has spoken. Oh, your heavenly Father has spoken. Your heavenly God has spoken. And you do not even understand why they speak, whom they speak for. Let's continue to the next one. We're going to go to the articles of the main issues. But let me just bring out a few videos. Because of time, we may not actually play all the video as it is. Now, I'm bringing this video out, right? Because this lady here, she's a former, how they call it, Secret 7. And her analysis, there is some points I want to make there.
Agent Evie, good morning. I want to put up this map of the farm grounds where this event was held last night. So the elevated position where the shooter was set up was about 150 yards from the stage where former President Trump was speaking. As a former Secret Service agent, are you surprised that building wasn't better secured?
So when you do a security plan, you've got the main security, right? The security perimeter where there's the magnetometers, where people are being checked as they're entering the event. You have the outer perimeter, where is when you have an open rally like this, you are extremely vulnerable. I've done these. They're probably the most anxious you're ever going to be as an agent, because you're trying to secure all of it. Now, the adjacent buildings, you do this in urban environments, you do this in a rural environment like this. When you do a security plan, you literally put yourself on stage and then you look out as if you were the protectee. What can I see? And if I can see it, it can probably see me. Now, for an outer perimeter like that, typically you will have a local law enforcement presence. You'll notice those buildings. And the Secret Service works with local police. You have to think of the Secret Service like they're the conductor of the orchestra. They create the blueprint and design for the security plan. They work with state police.
All right, so I'm not going to explain too much, right? She mentioned something that the Secret Service have to work with the local police, right? Now, the Secret Service in this case failed to work with the local police, and we have evidence to that, okay? Where the local police and the Secret Service communicated days back before the rally. I mean, days back before the rally. We have it here. So we're going to show it. So the Secret Service did not work with the local police. The local police have sent information to the Secret Service days back that the local police cannot handle this rally because they knew it was a Trump rally. Okay, it was going to be packed. All right, like the lady said, all Trump rally is going to be noisy. It's going to be, not noises where people will be like, yeah. So the local service or the local police have informed the Secret Service. The Secret Service did not get back, and then another information was sent. While all of these things were happening, this boy did not act alone. So we just want to make that clear as she explained before, when we bring the main article out, okay? And we read it and you see it, all right? Okay, so she's being a little bit biased here.
Police, they work with local police, and then they put in resources and assets.
So in the typical scenario, or in the scenario that one wishes would have unfolded, would you have had perhaps a local official secure that roof to make sure the roof is clear, make sure nobody's in the building, and then stand guard there so no one comes in after that clearing?
So we don't know if they did or did not do this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see the question I was asked to her, and she said we don't know if they did it or did not do this. Yes, they did it, because from the first video I think the second video we watched, you heard I think it was from the first video, the Secret Service director, okay, says that the building was sloping, and she ordered her men to stay down in the building and not up the building. So how can you say you don't know if they did it or they didn't do it? No, they did it. They went there day before the rally, and they checked the building, examined the place, and to them, they felt that it was not safe for them to be out there, okay? It was about them. It was about their safety. It was not about the safety of the former president, Donald Trump. It was not about the safety of the people that was going to the rally, because they saw those people are stupid, because you are coming to Donald Trump rally. Who is this? Who is that? Who is this? Who is that? So it was about the safety of the Secret Service officers not to go on top of the building. So yes, they went and examined the place already. So you can say we don't know if they did it or not. Yes, they did it. Don't be biased. Now I'm bringing this video because maybe some of you might have watched it or will watch it, right? And then you will know so you won't make a decision that, oh yeah, she's right. They didn't know. It was already checked. So you can say they didn't check it, they check it.
Yes, but they should have.
I would presume you should have a local police presence in that area. Now, could you have put somebody on that rooftop? You could have. The other element is the counter sniper team. So as far as we know, we see a 2-man team from the Secret Service side. As we were discussing prior before we started speaking, they are looking at everything. They have to cover 360 degrees. So I know a lot of folks are like, how could they not see this? I think one of the issues is if it is a 2-man team, think about what they are consistently covering. So local law enforcement, definitely. But again, we don't know if somebody was or wasn't positioned. Now, if there was no coverage there,
again, she keeps saying she don't know if there was a courage or if no one, we don't know. No, we know there was no courage because the Secret Service director said no one should be over the building, but they should be in on the building. So there was courage already. There was decision made. There was order that was given. Don't go there. Stay down there. So again, there was people positioned because when a shot was being fired, you listen to the lady that was there. She said, before they look, they saw police, they saw army, coming from all angles. So where were these people? All of a sudden, they just came from nowhere. In 1 minute, they just came from nowhere, and it was there all there. No, security was there. Security were there. These are the people that carry the wrong information. Even though the journalist knew what they were asking her, but she's still there trying to justify things that is not supposed to be justified or that is not justifiable
whatsoever. That's going to be an issue. Why weren't those adjacent buildings looked at? They are very close. Yes.
And if there was somebody stationed there from local law enforcement outside the building where the shooter was, as you consider the possibilities, how could he have gotten up there?
So as I look at this, and again, just from a preliminary assessment without having all the details, it seems to me what I would presume before the president goes up on stage, they secure the area. There's communication. Essentially, are we good to go? Is he good to get up on stage? I would presume that everything was in the clear. I would think that nobody was on that rooftop. What I suspect, and again, I'm suspecting that after he got up on stage, that's when the shooter took position. There's a little bit of a slant at that rooftop. Also, some of the photos show that he's dressed in colors matching that rooftop and building.
Okay, he's dressed in color matching the top of the roof where he was, right? So the clothes he has on, it matches with the top of the roof. Now again, let's go to the video again. The CIA director or the Secret Service director said over the building was not safe because it was sloping. So he ordered the trained soldier or the trained security personnel who are trained, okay, to balance on slope, who are trained already on those things. But she said it was not good for them, so they shouldn't go there. But a man who was not trained was able to find himself or maneuver himself out there and spend about roughly 5 minutes or 6 minutes on top of the building to put his ammunition together before doing the shooting. All right, let's take this down. I just want you to see different kind of video, right? Before we get to the article. These things, this man did not act alone. It was not staged. This was actually a planned assassination attempt against Donald Trump because of power greed within the United States democratic system. So-called democracy, right? Let's continue again to the next one. Let's see the next video, all right? Okay, bear with me. We're going to get to the article. Bear with me. Let's see the next video again. All right, let's look at this GOP lawmaker. He's a former sniper. Let's hear from him again, okay? Let's hear from him, from his view, a former sniper. Now, we heard from a former, how they call it, Secret 7, or how they call it, former Secret 7, right? Now, let's hear from a former sniper, all right?
We put together what we call range fans for our range card. We usually keep it right next to us. It's an overlay of the area, usually a satellite image, and it has our 100-yard line, our 200-yard line, our 300-yard line, and we identify the buildings and the areas for potential threat in those, so that when you do identify a threat, you don't have to actually, what they call milling out, which is to determine the distance of that actual target. You have it within your range fan. You can quickly glance down and say, roughly 200, and you can dial your elevation, look at your windage, make your call, and then fire your shot. Look, at 230 yards, which is what this is being estimated by, we have to bear in mind something. An AR-15 or any rifle of that matter has what they call minutes of angle, which means what the capability of the rifle is. A standard rifle, which is a basic rifle's capabilities, is 1 MOA, which means for every 100 yards is 1-inch grouping capabilities. You're talking about that at 230 yards, the average shooter could actually point at a target, fire 5 to 6 rounds, and somewhere within that group would be about a 2.3-inch grouping at 230 yards. The average life-size man target is a 20 by 40, 20 shoulder to shoulder, 40 waist to head. President Trump obviously is a much larger guy. He's a much taller guy. So it is by miracle and divine intervention that he is not killed today. And so there was a failure in the breach of security. I will identify that immediately. I will tell you that we always take the high ground for your overwatch positions. You always look at what the ability is to see the crowd so that you can mitigate threats at an elevated position. And one of the areas why you look at high angle fire shooting is also the direction and trajectory of the bullet itself. It's not like shooting at a flat trajectory where you have over penetration and can get other individuals. This is going to eventually just hit into the ground. So the oversight on this is that you're talking about 230 yards, which is nothing for a shot, adjacent to the stage of the president, and there was no one on that building. No one, even if you're not going to put anyone on the building, standing next to the building to ensure there's no access to the building. So I'm glad that the speaker is going to do an investigation on this, because I think that it's warranted. I think that I applaud again what the Secret Service detail had done, what the Counter Sniper CS team has done. But I will tell you, this is a massive security breach, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and we can show on the screen too. So this is first of all, we're looking at a map here, or we were looking at a map. And if we could bring up, there's imagery of the shooter, deceased shooter, on the top of a rooftop, just to kind of give people.
All right, so what a former sniper is saying here, and he's a GOP lawmaker, by the way, right now. So what this former sniper is saying here, right? He's telling us that this was never a stage. It was never staged. As already people are saying it was staged. It was this. It was. He's telling us it was never staged. This was an inside job. All right. But he had to use the word as failure, on a part of the CIA, or failure on a part of the Secret 7. All right. So he had to use that word, failure on a part of the Secret 7. But he's actually saying it was never staged. That's a former sniper speaking on how normally they secure area even before the day of the rally, or before the day of any arrival of any presidential candidate, or the arrival of any lawmaker, or any prestige, or whatsoever it is. What they do before, what they do days before. So he's saying this was never staged. It was an inside job. And that is why he said he's glad that there is going to be an independent investigation, because this was not staged. It was an inside job. That's the voice of the former sniper. All right. Currently, he's a lawmaker. Let's continue.
Some context of what we're looking for here. But to just sort of, Congressman, like dig in on this, there were also reports, and we have some information coming into CNN this morning, that somebody was seen going roof to roof. There was an eyewitness that talked to the BBC about trying to warn people about this. I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around. I mean, it sounds to me like you're saying this was an incredibly significant
This is a very significant security breach. And this is why it's so important, not only to ensure that presidential candidates and others had the necessary resources on their details and not to try and save money by trying to cut or deny resource and details. Look, you're talking about even, Kennedy himself, who's running right now, has denied his own detail. I mean, he was supposed to get a security detail as a presidential nominee or, for an independent party, but he didn't even get an actual, and you're talking about a guy who lost his dad and his uncle. So, it is serious when you talk about security breaches and you talk about the apparatuses that are being utilized. And so I would just stress the fact that not only do I see this as a massive security breach, but also we have to play into a part of, you have to work with your local law enforcement departments. You have to work in with other agencies and coordinate to ensure that at a minimum, I would have said, you have a local law enforcement officer at that location where that building is to ensure that no one can gain access to a higher ground location. That in itself could have prevented this actual shooting.
Congressman, you also said that you spoke with Eric Trump last night. Can you tell us a little bit about how the family is coping and what else you spoke about?
Well, I'm not going to go into kind of my conversation with him, but I will just stress the fact that, he felt very strongly, one, about the excellent job that the Secret Service has done. One of the females that was actually corralling around the president, I know it's very shaking and rattling for the children of President Trump also.
All right, due to time, we're going to take it out, right? Okay, so you have seen that video, all right? So we got to balance the equation here. Former sniper and former Secret Service worker, right? Their view, their perspective, or their perception, or whatsoever it is, right? All right. So the former Secret Service was not forthcoming, all right? She knew it was an inside job, but she kept saying, and those journalists, right? They knew what it was asking her, but she kept saying, we don't know, we don't this, we don't that, we don't that. When there is already an evidence where the current Secret Service director stated that the building was sloppy, it was not safe for a security officer to be up there. So she ordered security officer to be down there, not up there. And then the former Secret Service is sitting there saying everything, oh, we can't tell, oh, we don't know, oh, we don't this, oh, we don't that. So it means she's not even up to date. Now, on the other hand, we listen to the former sniper, what he said, okay? What they do before the event, okay? Inspection that they carry out, where they place people, where they know that people are supposed to be, to take clear view. Nothing like that was done. And he's telling us this was a security breach. That means there was ISA failure. That means it was not staged. How this man enter that area with rifle? Because on that day of that event, nobody, civilian, supposed to go in there with rifle. The only person in there with rifle or with arm should be officers, Secret Service, local authority, or soldiers, so forth and so things. Other than that, a common man like myself should not or cannot be found on that day with rifle. Why was this guy there? And that is why this former sniper is telling us it was not a stage thing. It was an ISA job. Let's continue to the next one. Now, we're going to say all the premises before we get to the article. All right? Let's continue here.
The threat. I thought President Trump had among the smallest Secret Service protection of anyone. What about the Secret Service protection on President Trump?
So I've seen the reporting that suggests that somehow because of this Iranian intelligence that was collected on the Iranian plot against the president, he had increased intelligence. There's no evidence of that. I don't know all the details. I'm sure the investigation will uncover this, but what we saw was a complete breakdown of the Secret Service's ability to protect a former president, the current candidate for president of the United States of a major party. And with not only what we saw on Saturday, but this Iranian plot that the Biden administration has done literally nothing to address. It's been going on for years. All
right. Again, look at the media. All right. Look here. U.S. received new intel on Iranian plot to kill Trump. Did you see the news? This is Fox News reporting. U.S. received new intel on Iranian plot to kill Trump. All right. The United States Department of Justice received a news that another nation is plotting to kill a former president. Folks, is plotting to kill a former president of the United States. And a Secret Service did nothing. Now, folks, I'm laughing because I do not even believe in this. This is not even true. But what happened here is the blame game, as they always do. That's what they're trying to do here, because they know the American population, all right? Oh, let me put it this before, because now I think people are now becoming aware of the lies of the U.S. Congress. People are now becoming to be aware of the lies of mainstream media. Okay? So I know everybody will not believe this, but how can they receive a threatening news like this, that a hierarchy of your nation, someone has plotted against them and it did nothing? And it did nothing to protect this man. So are they telling us they and the Iranian people was also part of the plot to assassinate Donald Trump? Now, this is a very good question by Eric Tinks. Eric Tinks says, why would Iran want to kill Trump? Now, exactly. Why would Iran want to kill Donald Trump? Is it Donald Trump that is fighting them? Is it Donald Trump that is paying billions of dollars to go bomb? Why would they want to kill Donald Trump? Is it Donald Trump making decisions? Is it Donald Trump holding on to peace between Palestine and Gaza? Is it Donald Trump holding on to peace in the Middle East? Is it Donald Trump victory, peace resolution? Is it Donald Trump that is working with the so-called Thomas Leonard Greenfield, the ambassador of the United Nations for US? Is it Donald Trump that is giving order for her to veto peace resolution? Why will Iran? Is it Donald Trump that went and killed the Iranian, how they call it, a revolutionary leader? Was it Donald Trump that went and threw a bomb there? Why would they want to kill Donald Trump? Very good question. Let the United States come and tell us. Or maybe Fox should come and tell, Fox Media should come and tell us. And not only Fox Media, right? Even our NBCs also, they are carrying these same lies. Making Americans to believe that, oh, this nation hate them. And America, this is how Washington, D.C. and their media made you, for our nation, to hate you. And then when you now, as a common man, traveling to those nations, you become a threat. Because they use you as a bait for those nations to hate you. Why wouldn't they want to hate America? Why would they go and lie? So if they do this, you as a common American citizen, and you're traveling to Iran, and they see your passport as U.S. citizen, what do you think going to happen? What do you think going to happen? They will say, oh, that's our enemies. Meanwhile, you know nothing. But they see you as an enemy. But meanwhile, if Washington, D.C., these so-called officials, these liars, these devil, when they are traveling, they travel with security personnel. When they go to Iran, they are well protected. When they go to the Middle East, they are well protected. But you now travel to those nations, you have no security. You are not protected. You are vulnerable. You are on your own. And you, the people, will be seen as an enemy. Because, yes, you are an American. And America hate them, so to speak. America lie on them. Every time there is something, America say, oh, that is people. And then you, the common citizen, you hate those people. Because now you are going to, oh, these people hate us. Oh, these people don't like us. Oh, these people don't this. Oh, those, oh, this how Africans think about us. Oh, this how the Middle East think about us. Oh, this how they think. Oh, this how. Now, mainstream media have made to believe that people with beard are terrorists, are the most, how they call it, fearful people in the world. But come to believe, people with no beard are the terrorists. Come to believe, people with beard clean off are the worst terrorists. But you see people with beard now, you're afraid. Because that's how mainstream media portray you to be that people with beard, they are terrorists. They are this, they are dangerous. But people with no beard, they are the most dangerous people. So they make you to think this way. Now you can travel. But when they travel, when Washington, D.C. travel, when congressmen travel, they are well protected because they got security. But when you travel, you don't have protection. You are limited. So all you do now is to sit here. You can travel because you are afraid to travel because your nation have lied on those people. So when you go there, they see you, they revenge on you. Because once upon a time, they saw you saying on social media, believing Washington, D.C., saying that, oh, those people don't like us, those people hate us, those people this, those people this. And they see your video, they see your social media, they watch it. But now, new, Washington, D.C. is the one that is putting you in threat against those nations. So why do you think will happen if an American citizen travel to Iran or travel to any Middle Eastern nation or travel to any Muslim nation? Why do you think will happen? Why do you think will happen? You will not be safe, but they can go there. They will be safe because they will have plane, they will have helicopter, they will have army, they will have all the protection until they come back. Let's continue.
Serious business, and it is a failure of leadership for the United States to allow a former president of the United States to come under this kind of threat and do nothing in response.
Well, thank you for that, because I didn't think there was any evidence of more Secret Service protection, and I feel like that's propaganda. And now we had an assassination attempt. How is it possible that the Secret Service could allow a guy, a 20-year-old kid carrying a ladder and a major gun and get up on a roof, and then the excuse from the director of the Secret Service is that it was a sloped roof?
So I know a lot of these folks that work in protection. I have a protective detail myself. I know the Secret Service folks. A sloped roof. These folks can swim the river with a dagger in their mouth. These are American heroes. These are good people. To think that because there was a roof that a 20-year-old kid could scale, but a Secret Service protection team or a CAT team couldn't scale. I mean, that's just lame. We know there was a massive failure. It looks like it was a systemic failure, in addition to a tactical failure in the moment to identify this as a potential place and actually protect the president from this.
Okay, listen to this. This was a tactical failure. This was an inside job that failed. Did you listen to that? It was a tactical failure. It was an inside job that failed. This boy was not even the one that carried on the shot, that pulled the trigger. He was probably he was being used as the bait. Because our witness said there was multiple shots. So he might be used as the bait. He might not have been the one to pull the trigger. Tactical failure. It was an inside job, an attempt to assassinate Donald Trump. Political greed, power greed in the U.S. system. They do not believe in democracy. They are also a failure. But you so-called African leader was set on the African continent and listen to this colonialist as the father to speak for Africa or to speak for black nations. Meanwhile, they do not believe in power sharing if it differ from their ideology. They do not believe in democracy. They are power greed within the American democratic system. There is leadership crisis within the American democratic system.
But for the grace of God, this country would be in a very different place today. And the Secret Service, under President Biden's leadership, has done nothing. And sadly, Maria, much like when they couldn't find the Secretary of Defense for a couple of weeks, or we had Chinese balloons flying over our country, no one has been held accountable for these security failures against the United States. It's one of the reasons I think you see the unity here in this convention. People can see we need American leadership again.
Secretary, this is just extraordinary. How does that happen? How does the U.S. Secret Service allow a guy to get shots off that now we're talking about at least one fatality?
Can't explain it. Literally, it is unexplainable to think this wasn't a complicated plot by a sophisticated, it appears, by a sophisticated team that had cased this for years. And this was a kid. And this kid just wandered up on a roof and got a shot off against the former president of the United States. I wish I had an answer for you. I hope that we get answers. Hope the American people get transparency. But to see that suggests what else? I always think when I see moments when
All right, we take that out, right? So you see, the media, how they are also carry on the news. Again, like the lady said down there, right? How can a 20 years okay that is not trained? All right, sorry, folks. I don't know what is going on, but I think they're trying to kick me out. All right, so they're trying to kick me out. So that is what's going on here. But we actually went blank, took out the screen, but we came back. Hopefully we're here. All right, so again, like the lady said in there, right? How can a 20 years old enter in there with a ladder, passed by all those security officers with rifle? No question, nothing. Anyway, we'll talk about that, right? But again, so you see the narrator again now, right? Let's see another one here. We're going to get to the article. We are getting there a little bit. So we want to expose them with the narrative that, oh, it was staged. With the narrative that, oh, it was another country that did this. Because the United States never, ever take responsibility. So we want to get rid of that narrative. That's why we playing all these videos. All right. Okay. Let's continue here. All right. So we saw the Fox News already, right? So this is NBC News. So they said, Trump assassination attempt live update. U.S. learn of Iranian plot to kill Trump week before shooting. Did you see that? So I tell you the Secret Service and the Iranian, how they call it, people plotted this because they were informed, according to them, weeks, not 1 week, not 2 weeks. This could be months. Okay, this could be 10 weeks, 12 weeks, all depend, right? Before shooting, and it did nothing. Hypothetically, let's just put it that way. Okay, if it is not an inside job, if it is an outside job, right? So now, for those of you that say it was staged, again, for those of you that say it was staged, Trump's stage is right. Okay, but now NBC is telling us, okay, they knew about this assassination attempt weeks before the day. If they knew about it, if the Department of Justice knew about it, then how can you say it was staged when they're telling you it was somebody else who planned this already? So Trump went and planned his assassination attempt with Iran. Those of you, that's the question. Those of you that say it was staged. So are you telling me Trump went and staged his assassination attempt with Iran? Those of you that say it was staged, the American government knew about this. Secret Service knew about this weeks before the day, and it did nothing. So are you telling us if it was staged, then Trump went and told the Secret Service, do not do nothing about it because I told them we should stage it. So just sit down and watch. Don't do nothing. Is that what you're telling us? Be careful if you are not done your research to come out with statement that, oh, it was staged. It was this. Let me take this out. I will take this out. Then let's look at the response of Iran. Okay, let's look at the response of the Iran. And this is what I said. America, for each, look, the citizen, for each time these people do this thing and they lie on other nations, and you don't come out to tell your government official or your news media to stop lying on those nations, it is you, the common American, that they are putting your life in danger. Okay? It is you, the common American, they are putting your life in danger because you can't travel to those countries again. They are actually limiting you from traveling to those countries. They are putting your life in danger. If you don't tell them to stop lying on other nations, it is you they are limiting from traveling. What you do now, you have to sit here because in reality, they are not actually enemy to those nations. But it is you that they are making enemy to those nations because they can go at any time. They can go at any time to those nations and they will be protected. But you can go. If you go there, maybe the next thing you're going to see, you travel for tourists, you travel to this nation and they kill you and they saw your life, the body lying down. That's what we've been seeing on news. When you travel to those places, you become a threat because your leader do it. But when your leader go, they are safe. They come by. They are well protected until they come by. But you go, you are not protected. Now let's look at the response of the Iranian leader or the Iranian people. Let's look at their response. So this is what the Iranians say, right? Iran blasts Trump assassination plot claim. Did you see that? So what these people are going to do, Iran, they're going to tell their citizens that, hey, instead of them telling their citizens, oh, this is what Washington, D.C. say, they're going to say, hey, American people say, we don't want this to them. Did you see that? Did you see how they're putting you in danger with other nations? Iran has angrily dismissed United States media report that it has been plotting to assassinate former U.S. President Donald Trump. A foreign minister spokesman on Wednesday stated that Iran rejects the malicious allegation that it has plotted an attack on the Republican presidential hopeful. However, Nasser Kanina asserted that Iran aimed to prosecute Trump for ordering the assassination of a senior military official in 2020. So now, did you see what it did here? Look, let me take this out in the first place. Let me take this out and make some what they call this stuff here. Now, do you see what it did here, right? So what it did here was during the time Trump was in power, right? That was 2020 or so, right? It was during that time the Iranian, I think, military leader or revolutionary leader or something was killed. So what? Look, do you see how? Look, Africans, let me make this. Did you see how America play their politics when it comes to Africa? Do you see how they play their politics among them? They do not love each other. Do you see it? To put American life in danger, now they went now to say, okay, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Say we don't want Donald Trump already. We want to get Donald Trump out of power, right? We want to use this scenario. So after an inside attempt to kill him, they failed. Now, they want to say, we can use it this way. Since Donald Trump killed their leader before, we're going to use them to say, oh, the Iran president, the Iranian leader, or the Iranian people tried to assassinate Donald Trump because of their leader that Donald Trump killed. So they came to retaliate. And then now you Americans who don't do research, sorry to say this, who don't reason, but everything your leaders say, the media say, you agree by it. And then now you believe that, oh, there's a reason they wanted to kill Trump because Trump went and did this to them. So they want to react. Did you see that? Why would they sit and don't go after Trump, but they sat or they sat that and wait until election time, then before they want to come to assassinate Trump? Why they have not done it all along? Why? Sit and wait until election time, and then before they come to say they want to assassinate Trump. Do you see how politics is bad? They themselves play politics with themselves. And then they go on the African continent and play the same politics. If they do not care about their citizens, why would they care about Africans? And then they will come and lie to you that, oh, we came to monitor African election. We love Africa. We want democracy for Africa. So we want for the people's voice to be heard. We want to do this. We want to do that. We want that. We want to do. We want this. And you sit down and agree. This is them, political greed. Political greed. They try to do an inside job and they fail. And now they want to frame it to say, oh, okay, we can say it is the Iranian people that wanted to kill him because he went and killed the people, so the people now came to react. And then you, the American citizen, will sit now and blame the Iranian people. And then now, if anything let it happen, you send your children to go and die, to go and fight Iran. And then you will now sit on social media and say, oh, the Iranian people hate us. The people this, they don't like us. And now you can't travel there. Absolutely, you can't travel there. Instead of you telling your government to stop doing what they are doing because they are putting your life in jeopardy for their own selfish political gain, you sit and agree to it. And that is why most of you are sitting here to say it was staged. And some of you now believe, oh, it was Iran because Trump went and killed that leader. So it was Iran who wanted to react. And you sit down there ignorantly. Now you are even plotting against yourself. But Joe Biden can go to Iran anytime. Nothing will happen to him. He will come back. He will be well protected. Any of these congressmen can go to Iran. They will be well protected. They will come back. And even, in fact, the Iranian government will make sure they are protected until they come back. But you can't go there. You will not be protected. If you go there and come back there, well, so be it. you need to start customing your government and your social media or your news reporter to stop reporting on lies. Because for each time they lie, they go against you. So now they use a scenario that happened to say, okay, we can use this scenario to say it's this. This is what exactly they do to the African nations. And some of you ignorantly, you will sit here and you believe them. This is what exactly they do to the African continent. And I don't blame them because we have some of those Negro puppet African leaders. Let's continue here. Let's continue to the next one. So let's see how Donald Trump assassination was plotted. Let's see this. Okay. Let's see Obama speaking. Let's see Biden speaking. Let's see all these news media speaking. How they should blow his hair off. Now, because of time, I'm going to skip the video. I'm not going to allow him to speak. I will skip the video to where I want to show in so you can see what I'm talking about because of time.
Mayor Bill Ackman has come out and officially endorsed Donald Trump. He says, I know I'm going to lose friends over this. I know that I know that people are going to be mad at me. I may lose business deals, but the country means more to me than pretending like I am satisfied with President Joe Biden. At the same time, you have all of these Trump-hating Democrats, people with Trump derangement syndrome, that have been calling him Hitler, worse than Mussolini, worse than Mao, worse than communist Russia. They're now saying, oh, our prayers are with Donald Trump. We're so sorry. You have at the same time, you have the media pretending like this is not a big deal. Trump rally canceled, some of them said. Trump leaves rally early after falling. Trump leaves after being spooked by loud noises. Like a president of the United States nearly had his brains blown out. He cocked his head in a miraculous microsecond move, which then let the bullet blast through his ear, saving his life. And these people are going on saying, oh, our prayers are with you. Violence is never good. Well, I believe that they are full of crap. And I want to walk through with you why I think that Donald Trump has people that are trying to attack him. So let's watch this together.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
I feel like punching him.
I think I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school. If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
All right, let me make a few comments here. That was Chris Common. Okay, I think New York governor or something. He said, where in the world do they tell you that protest is peaceful? These are the same people. When black people go out, so folks, listen to this. These are the same people, right? When black people go out, okay, like for example, doing police brutality and so forth. When black people go out to show their anger, these are the same people, along with Barack Obama, will come and say, these people are taught. They're not supposed to be on the street. They are not trained. They are not this. They are that. All kind of horrible, horrible, horrible description or adjective they use. Oh, they are not peaceful. Oh, they are not this. They are violent. But if it is in their favor, Then they say, where in the world anyone will tell you that a protest is peaceful? But they will be the same one to come and say, black people at church, they are not peaceful. They never do peaceful protest. They never do peaceful rally. They are always violent. They are always this. But in their favor, because they did not like Trump, so when people come out to be violent, and then they defend the act to say, no, the people are right, even if they are violent. Where in the world have anyone said protest is peaceful? Did you see that? Yes, that's Chris Common. Did you see that? Where in the world anybody tell you say protest is peaceful? Protest is violent. Only if it is in their favor. But if it is not in their favor, it is something that is going to destroy their hegemony, or it is something that's going to destroy their financial flow. Then they will say, these people are taught, these people are violent. They are not peaceful. They are not part of society. They are not there to build society. But once it is in their interest, if destruction means necessary, they will say, yes, it's necessary. It need to happen. It need to be done. But in the video there, do you see how they have, over the year, they have built against Trump? Leaders are saying, yeah, let's take Trump out now. Let us take him out. Let us blow his hair out. Let us do this. Let us do that. And they were all sad. These are leaders over the years who have accumulated violence against this man.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price.
We're going to go in there, we're going to...
But this is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be? Does one of us have to come out alive?
Oh, wow. Okay, I did not see that last.
All right, so you see that just one of us had to come out alive. So that means she either killed Donald Trump or Donald Trump killed her. But she and Donald Trump cannot even be in the same elevator. Where is the peace? Where is the democracy? Where is the so-called democracy? That she and Donald Trump, if they are in the elevator, one person will not come out alive. Only one person will, I mean, two persons will not come out alive. Only one person will come out and one person will leave in the elevator dead. To the extent Donald Trump in the White House, right? And people went on a rally, and they said they are willing to blow out the White House because Donald Trump was there. Did you see that on media? Did they say that, oh, it was Democrats who are invoking violence in the people to make that threat that they will go and put fire in the White House and bomb the White House? That was the time Donald Trump was there. But did you see the media to say it was Democrat that was creating violence into the people? In fact, the media portrayed that the people are right because they were saying, right, it was right for the people to do it. And another government official said, well, Donald Trump will pay for the price. All these things. Did you see the plot against him? Do you think they wanted this man, or they want this man to come back to the presidency to run? All the way they have portrayed him bad. They have set up crime against him. But still, the more they do it, the more the man get the vote. So it was a need to have inside plan, and the inside plan failed. And now they are using a sick man to say he the one did it. They actually deliberately allowed that sick man, if he was sick, they actually allowed that sick man to be in there and passing around so that they can show as evidence what we're saying now to say, oh, he was sick. That's why he was roaming all around here. How can a sick man go and inspect an area and then come back, go outside, take his backpack, put his rifle in it, come and pass through security checkpoint with lalos, go and put a lalos, even if that was a true now, but that's what they say. Okay, go and put a lalo in the building, clear on top of the lalo, while security are looking at him. He's not a security personnel, he does not have uniform, but he's either climbing on a lalo, went out top of the roof. He's not a sniper, and he went out there. And no one went and touched him. No one went there to blow him up. But they left it. He went there. How can you say it was staged? So Donald Trump went and bribed the Department of Justice. If it was staged, then the U.S. Department of Justice is corrupt. If it was staged, then the Department of U.S. Justice accept bribery. Then Donald Trump bribed them. Then how can they go to the African continent to talk to talk against corruption when the U.S. Justice, how they call it, Department of Justice is corrupt? Because if it was staged, the United States Department of, how they call it, Justice just accepted bribery from Trump. They are corrupt. This was an inside job that failed. Let's continue. So you see the plot against Trump. All the violence. We want him go. He will not come back. He must pay for it. He will get shot. We will burn the White House. All those threats. Did you see security going after them? I mean, how can someone stand on national media? Because Trump was there and they said, we will go and blow down the White House. And they saw that as nothing. They saw that as nothing. No investigation to say, why you said that? Nothing. Let's continue here. We are about to get to the article. All right. So let's get to the article. Let's get to the article here. So we have seen everything. Now that the premise has been set, this is not, it was not staged. Now let's see the real article here now. Let's see something here. Okay. Let's see another thing here why this was not a staged thing. So let's go back by bit. This is CBS News, right? So it says timeline of Trump shooting shows Secret 7 was aware. Timeline of Trump shooting showed that Secret 7 was aware of suspicious person 20 minutes before assassination attempt. Let's continue here. Now, despite the 90-degree heat on Saturday, July 13, thousands ascended on Pennsylvania Butler Farm show, which is roughly 100-acre fairground used for agriculture exhibition. They were excited to see former President Donald Trump, who has spoken at their site before. Now, let's go up a little bit. Let's go. Okay, so it says 5:51, right? 5:51 p.m. So they are going bit by bit before the shooting, right? 5:51 p.m. Secret Service is notified of suspicious person. Again, 5:51 p.m. Now, the how they call it, the former Secret Service, how they call it, lady was saying that there was a reason I play all these videos before getting to the article. I would have just gotten to the article and talk about the article, right? But we want to make things clear for people to understand here. Now, 5:51 p.m. Secret Service is notified of suspicious person. Now, 20 minutes before the shooting, 20 minutes before the shooting, the U.S. Secret Service was notified by the Pennsylvania State Police. Now, the former CIA, how they call it, director or Secret Service director said she don't know if the Secret Service was informed. She don't know if the Secret Service and the local police was working together. She don't know that. No, they knew it. Everything's are there. The informations are there. But she was by it. I don't know, even when she was serving as Secret Service, they were the one, the people were braving. Okay? But anyway, let's continue. 20 minutes before the shooting, the U.S. Secret Service was notified by the Pennsylvania State Police. That means the local police, all right, of a suspicious person with a rangefinder on the ground. According to the three sources familiar with a briefing to member of Congress on Wednesday. Let's continue. Now, 5:52 p.m. Secret Service share information. Listen to this. 5:52 p.m. Secret Service share information about suspicious person. And this person is still there. They cannot apprehend. They cannot go to catch this person. Do you see the inside job? Then how can you say this was staged? To the people who say, oh, it was staged. It was staged. It was staged. It was staged. Let's continue here. 5:52 p.m. The Secret Service disseminated information about the suspicious person with the rangefinder to the encounter sniper, to the encounter sniper in the building, right? To the encounter sniper. So local police inform Secret Service, right? Then Secret Service inform the sniper. Oh God. Inside job. Power greed in the American governmental system. Power greed. Oh, I thought American people are not greedy for power. I thought only African people are greedy for power. Oh, okay. Let's continue here. Secret Service disseminated information about the suspicious person with the rangefinder to the encounter sniper team and response agents on the ground, according to the three sources. Now, they can't name those three sources, right? Anyway, let's continue. At this point, local law enforcement did not know the suspicious person had a gun. At this point, according to them, they did not know. But then, who were at which one of the security officers? Was it the Secret Service or the local law enforcement? Now, if the local law enforcer are saying they do not know about the suspicious person having gone, then we can assume that it was the Secret Service that was at the entrance of the gate who were checking people, all right? Who were making sure no one entered in there with a weapon. So now, if the Secret Service were the one standing over there to charge people, to look at people whether they carry any weapon and thing, then the Secret Service did an inside job. Then this person did not work alone. The Secret Service was there. When this person went to the backpack with their ammunition, came and put a lalo and cleaned out there without checking the bed, or they checked the bed, they saw the weapon, because they knew it was an inside job, it was a plot, they allow him go. They gave him free pass. But let's continue. Let's go ahead. At this point, local law enforcement did not know the suspicious person had a gun, according to a local law enforcement officer and the Butler County Sheriff. So that means the Secret Service agent have full control of the area, and they allow the local official to pull back as they go on. So again, going back to the video, right? If the Secret Service director told the sniper not to go on top of the building, but rather let you stay on there. So that means they told the local law enforcer to pull back. There was an inside job to assassinate Trump. It was planned, folks. This was planned. Let's continue. 6:03 p.m. Trump take the stage. 6:03 p.m. Trump take the stage. We are going bit by bit. Let's continue here. Daniel Trump took the stage at 6:03 p.m. local time and began speaking to the crowd. All right. 6:09 p.m. 6:09 p.m. Folks, first of all, let's go back here. Now, if this man, quote unquote, hypothetically, if this man that did a shooting, as they say, right, he had a mental issues. Let's do this. If actually he the one that took the shot, and actually if this man had a mental issue, at the time Trump got on stage, at the time he was walking on stage, right, this man was open shot down there on Donald Trump while he saw this man. If true this man had a mental problem, if this man acted alone on his own, this man could have taken a shot when Donald Trump was walking on stage. The moment he saw Donald Trump, because in his mind, it is Donald Trump that he won. So the moment he saw Donald Trump walking on stage, he was going to shoot him even before Donald Trump started speaking, right? However, this man left it. Donald Trump walked on stage. Donald Trump even sat down, wake up, and then before giving a speech, right? This was an inside job. This man did not act alone. From how things went, multiple eyewitnesses say there was multiple shots. It was not just that individual. This was an inside job. I even believe it was not this man that took the shot. I believe it was one of those snipers that took the shot, but because Donald Trump was able to, because when anytime Donald Trump speaking, he always do a head like this. And then he lay back. He is never straight. He always like this. He always like this. He always like this. He always like this. So at that moment of time, maybe when his hair was like this speaking, when this guy took the shot, in a blink of an eye, Donald Trump had already turned his head again to do something, and that's how it got his ear. If not, if it was still, it was going to blow him off. It was going to blow him off. So just from that analysis, we can believe that it was not that guy that took the shot. It was actually a sniper that took the shot. Because if Donald Trump had not moved his hair all well like the way he liked to move it, to be engaged, because he's a man that like to engage. So anytime you see him doing like that, he's actually engaging. So at that point of time, he was ready to engage to the crowd. And the moment he went boom in a second, it missed him. But if not, that sniper was going to get him. So we can believe it was not a sick person that took that shot. It was a sniper that took that shot. And then afterward, while Donald Trump now, if it was going to happen, then now they say, oh, that man that killed Donald Trump. And that's how it was going to go. That's how it was going to go. He killed Donald Trump. This was an inside job. It can be believed that a sniper actually took that shot. He was not the one that did it, that pulled the trigger. It was not he that pulled the trigger. It was an inside job. Let's continue here. So they waited. A sick man who is not trained, who does not know. Look, if he would have taken the trigger, he would have opened the shot, he would have get on the trigger the moment he saw Trump walking on the stage. If actually he was a sick man that he went out there strictly for Donald Trump, he would have opened fire once Donald Trump walked on stage. This was an inside job. It could be possible one of those snipers took the shot. Let's continue here. 6:03 p.m. Donald Trump take the stage. Donald Trump took the stage at 6:03 p.m. local time and began speaking to the crowd. At 6:09 p.m., people alert officer to the gunman again. 6:09, people calling officer and said, look, somebody at the rooftop. A lot of this man have not yet taken a shot. He have not yet taken a shot. Civilians are most, how they call it, fearing. They are more alerted at that time than the security officer. Civilians are even cautious and looking around. So at that time, this man have not yet taken a shot. Okay, the sick man have not yet taken a shot, as this have made it to believe, right? So people have seen this man over the roof. They call officer. They said, look, there's a man up there. But let's continue here. Anyway, so listen now. People alerted law enforcement to the gunman on the roof. On the roof. So all that time, right? Security officers were there. I didn't tell you that they see the man going over the roof. They didn't see the man putting a ladder climbing. But let's continue here. People alerted law enforcement of the gunman on the roof of a building about 110 feet away from the stage. At least 2 minutes before, Donald Trump started speaking. Before the first shot, all right? Before the first shot was at Donald Trump. Video analyst by CBS News show. So it was 2 minutes even before the first shot was shot. Officer was already alerted by civilian. There's a man over the building with gun, and it did nothing. And then you tell me, say it was staged? How can you tell? So that means the United States Department of Justice is corrupt. That means the United States is a corrupt nation. They were bribed. They accept bravery. That's why civilians told them this is happening, and they did nothing because they knew what was about to happen because they were bribed if this was staged. Let's continue here. The video provides insight into the chaotic meeting leading up to the attempted assassination on the former president and raises caution about the preparedness of law enforcement regarding the building. Let's continue. Look, they are all pointing someone on top of the roof. That means the people, the party, how they call it, rally goer, the people that was on the scene, they were all pointing at the law enforcer, the local, the Secret Service, whosoever that was there. Look, 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 look. And you telling me it was staged? Look, they are all pointing. Someone on top of the roof. Someone is on top of the roof with gun. A person says at least one law enforcement officer walked around the building. Only one, at least one person that was the person that even went around the building. There he is, the one person that went around the building, and after the shootings have not yet occurred, right? But one law enforcer or enforcement officer, right, went around the building to make sure. And when he went, he saw this person over the roof with the rifle. And this person said, there he is. Right there. Right there. See him. So these are civilians, the rally goer who went to see Trump supporter. And they are still telling, there he is. He is right there. Look, see him. See, he's there. Go for him. Shoot him. He is lying there. Look. There he is. Right there. Right there. See him. He's lying down there. In quote. Let's continue on this. Another person appeared to gesture to the officer. Another person appeared to gesture to the officer. That means another party, rally goer, another civilian, another concerned citizens was there. This man have not even yet shoot. He's still lying out there. Another man look at the officer because all the time people are shouting, look, right there, he's there. He's lying down there. Nobody doing anything. Then another person look at the officer, gets at him like, are you serious? Are you guys can't do anything? He's on top of the roof. Look, after he gets out of the officer, he said, he's on the roof. Right there. Right on the roof. Stay. Officers doing nothing. Stay. Sniper can't do nothing. Stay. Secret Service can't do nothing. Huh? And you telling me it was staged? People should stop playing here. Even Eddie hate Daniel Trump. Stop playing. Let's continue here. 1 hour witness later describe it. We noticed a gun crawling. You know, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we are standing there. We know we are pointing at the gun crawling up the roof. The eyewitness added, he had a rifle. He could clearly see him with a rifle. Nothing has been done. And you say it is staged. This was an inside job. Power greed, political rivalry. Power greed, political rivalry in America. Why didn't they call a so-called international community for Africa to come as well? You knock our head saying now on the African continent every time America delegate had just arrived. And you see, what bad for me is the so-called journalists in Africa there. The US delegate had just arrived. EU delegate had just arrived. We are waiting on another delegate. These international community are coming to make sure that this election they want to speak like American. They want to speak like European. Speak your dialect. Speak your native tone the way you speak. We are just waiting or this election. They got to monitor this election so that it can be peaceful and fair, so that the voice of the people will be heard. That is why these people are here, so that they can make sure we have peaceful election, so that we can have a peaceful transfer of power. Stupid people they call journalists in Africa. Let's continue here. Butler County Sheriff Michael Snopp said that shortly before the shooting, again, there's another communication between the local officer and the Secret Service. Butler County Sheriff Michael Snopp said that shortly before the shooting, an armed officer tried to reach the gunman before the shooting. Look, before the shooting, an armed officer tried to reach the gunman, but had to fall back. And then you said this was staged. People have planned to kill this man, and you say it was staged. Before the shooting, an armed officer, after surveillance has said, this man is lying up there, he's there. Somebody went, a local law enforcement officer went there to reach the gunman. But the gunman attacked this man or attempted to attack this man, to shoot this man, to kill this man. But the local official fall back. Now, let me ask a question. Was it because the Secret Service director had planned? Is it the plan to assassinate Donald Trump? That is why she said nobody should go on top of the roof. Because they knew their plan. They knew that somebody would be on top of the roof. So they said nobody should go there. They knew that they was going to plan someone to assassinate Donald Trump. Could it be? That's why they said no one should go on top of the roof. The roof was not safe for trained security personnel, but it was safe for someone who does not have security training, who easily went out there and easily lied down there comfortably. But someone who was well trained, people who were well trained, it was not safe for them to be out there. This was an assassination attempt that it was inside job that was planned, but it failed. That is why even Joe Biden was questioned. A former president of the United States, brain almost got blown off. And they asked the current president to make a statement. And he was angry and walked away and refused to answer the journalists when they were even asking him. He walked away stating that, oh, I can't make comment. I have to get more evidence. Someone that you succeeded, that turned power over to you, almost got killed. And you walking away from making statement. You say you have to look for evidence and things before you make statement. An inside job that did not succeed. Let's continue here. Now, government fall back, right? Let's see what happened. All I know is the officer had both hands up on the roof to get up on top the roof. Slum told CBS Pittsburgh station, KDK, but the officer never made it because the shooter had turned towards the officer. The shooter had turned towards the officer, and the officer backed off. The officer came back. So that alone, the security should have known that that area there was tourists. If this man was acting alone, that alone, security should have alerted to the other people that, listen, this place is not safe. We need more officers. In the same way, after the shooting, in less than no time, the place was full with security. At that time, before the shooting, security could have been all there. In fact, at that time, snappers should have been on top of the building already. But no, they did not do it. An inside job that failed. Let's continue. And rightfully and smartfully, the officer let go. The officer retreat. No shot fire. Snow said, after that, the shooter turned his rifle back towards the rally. So, come on, man. Oh, God. I mean, this is... Let's continue reading. Now, 6:11, right? 6:11:21 p.m. to 6:11:32 p.m. An officer walked around the building. People spot the shooter and sought to flee. People start running. At that time, stay. It did not occur to the Secret Service or the Department of Justice that it was a dangerous place. While people were fleeing, it did not stay occur to them. An inside job to assassinate Trump that failed. Political and power greed in America here. Let's continue. They need international community to come and help them. Africa, you always call international community. The U.S. need you people to serve as international community to come and make sure they have transfer free for and how to call it transfer and free and fair election. They need you people to come. Are you not coming? Are you not going to send your invitation for the U.S. and tell them we need to come? Are you not coming? Oh, Tinubu, you just had a peaceful transfer of democracy, right? Why can you send an invitation to the U.S. that, you know what, Nigeria is coming to make sure you have free and fair election? Let Donald Trump campaign. Why can't you send it? Oh, Nana Akufo-Addo, why can't you do the same thing? I thought these are your great partners. Oh, I thought Ghana is one of the most democratic, peaceful nations in the world. Oh, I thought Nigeria is a democratic nation. Why can't you come and help the United States to make sure they carry on free and fair election? Because right now, as we speak, there is power greed. They do not want to give another man a chance to run. Oh, is that democracy? You all need to come and serve as international community. Slave on an African continent call themselves leaders. Let's continue here. I dare you to come and partake in the American election to serve as international entity. I dare you people. It is a challenge to you people. Next time, when any African election, I will stop calling this slave master to come. Nonsense. Let's continue here. Another video which began at 6:11:28 p.m. 5 seconds before the shooting, because now it was 20 minutes before the shooting, right? Now we go to 5 seconds. 20 minutes before the shooting, all that time, people are saying this place. Now say, here's the man, here's the thing, here's the that. Nothing happened until 5 minutes, 6:11:28 p.m. 5 seconds before the first shot is fired. Show people yelling at the man on the roof has gone. It show people running to flee the gunmen. In yet another video, people are seen spotting the shooter at 6:11:29 p.m. exactly 4 seconds before he opened fire. It show people yelling that the shooter is right there. Video also show the Secret Service sniper behind Trump pointing their rifle in the direction of the shooter. One sniper appeared to spot something about 1 second before the first shot rang out. Now, let's do this first of all. 20 minutes before Trump even arrived, people were already pointing finger that the sniper was up there. Somebody was there. Secret Service was already there. Why didn't Secret Service tend to walk the place to check there to make sure it was another sniper that was on top of the building? But 4 seconds before the shooting, that's the time Secret Service or sniper turned around to watch the place the shooter was. Folks, an inside job that went terribly wrong. They did not succeed. This was an inside job. I want to believe this man did not pull the trigger, because eyewitnesses say there was multiple shots that came from different places, different angles. Eyewitnesses say the shot that killed the firefighter did not come from the alleged person, the alleged deceased. It came from different angle that killed the firefighter. An inside job that went wrong. There's going to be another failed FBI investigation. There's going to be another failed CIA investigation. There's going to be another failed American Congress investigation, because it was an inside job, I believe. You're going to get nothing. The same way the JFK Kennedy issue went fly. The same way it went fear in the air. This is how this is going to go in the air. Nothing going to come out of this. Now, 6:11:33 p.m. first shot. As Donald Trump was talking about immigration, the first shot from the would-be assassin was fired. 6:11:34 p.m. 2 more shots fired. The second and the third shot from the sniper came 1 second later. All 3 shots came from Trump's right. 6:11:37 p.m. More gunshot here. The second shooter. 3 seconds later, several rapid gunshots are heard. At least 3 more shots were fired, followed by what sounded like an outgoing shout as the crowd erupted into screaming. All right, I'll take this out anyway. All right. So that's the entire article. I didn't go through the whole thing, but just from what I read, you saw how everything played out. So how can you say it was staged? This was an inside job. Political greed, power greed, to assassinate a man. The same thing that going on the African continent. If a leader in power, it does not support America or Europe foreign policy interests, they support the opposition. They go against the ruling party who is in power that do not support the foreign interests. Now, if the opposition, if the government support foreign interests, right, or foreign policy, and the opposition do not, and the opposition have the majority, of the people, they go against, they sponsor this so-called international community, also was sponsor, okay, to go against the opposition. This was the same thing that went on here. Donald Trump being the opposition, Donald Trump being that he had the support of the masses, he became a threat. Political rivalry in the US, not just in Africa. These people do not believe in democracy. There's no democracy anywhere. So you Africans, when you are having your election, you better manage your election by yourself, for yourself. The result should reflect on the people. Stop inviting American diplomat, European diplomat. They will do nothing but to make sure to put in power who they want to be. They will infiltrate your system and put in power who they want. They will come and run campaign against the person that is being the favor for the people, for the masses. Are you coming as African representative to come and partake and make sure America have free and fair election? Because right now they are struggling. They are struggling. They need you so-called African Negroes to come and serve as international community because they are struggling. Because they almost can't one of their president. I mean, one of their candidate, one of the political how they call it, their political rival. They almost killed one of them. Are you coming to serve as international community, to serve on their board? Will they allow you? Stupid people on the African continent. Sorry to say this, but you people are the cause. We finding it difficult to be independent or to be liberated. You also see another African election, you see American representative. But meanwhile here, they are struggling. Are they going to call you to come and serve, to monitor their elections? I hope so. We need Tinubu to send representative. We need Nana Akufo-Addo to send representative. We need her to do it. Because America is struggling. She's struggling with her democracy, with her election. The people need you. You need to come and serve on the board to make sure American citizens' voices are being heard so that they can be free and fair election. Because this election will be rigged and will not be free and fair. The same way they can talk about African election, it will be rigged, it will be dead, we need American diplomat. Now, you're saying you're diplomat, you're saying you're dedicated to come here. Because they are struggling now. Nonsense. Now, let's see here again. This was an inside job, right? Look, it's possible the alleged deceit did not even pull the trigger. But let's continue here. Multiple failure, multiple investigation on how they call it, unveiling, right, the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. Let's see here. That's a site anyway, but let's see here. So this was the building the individual was in. Okay? Let's see here. So this is what Donald Trump was staged. And they stayed on here. These are people all here. But let's continue here. Now, I want to start from somewhere. All right. I will start from here. That was where he opened fire 6 minutes after Trump began speaking. So all the time, right? This man who is presumed to be sick, mentally ill, he did not shoot when Trump was walking, coming. He did not shoot when Trump sat down. He did not shoot when Trump stood up. But he waited until Trump was comfortable giving his speech. And then before the alleged, how they call it, DC open fire. Somebody that was mentally ill, right? It could have been possible. Even the Secret 7 open and shut. The fact that the director of the Secret 7 said nobody should go on top of that building, everybody should be in the building. The fact that lawmaker, the fact that government officials said they need to take down Donald Trump, they need to shoot his head. If Donald Trump enter in the elevator, only one person will come out. All those things. Look, let's continue here. Anyway, let's continue. I'm going to start from here. Now come the question. Are there multiple investigations have been launched both into the crime itself and how law enforcement allow it to happen? It becoming increasingly clear this was a complicated failure. This was a complicated failure involving multiple missteps at least non-local and federal law enforcement division that were supposed to be working together. No, they worked together. It was never a few issues. It was never complicated. The thing was cleared. How did this man carry Lalo? How did this man carry a backpack loaded with ammunition and there was no metal detector? How did they not check this man back? Did they know this man already that what he was going to do? That's why they did not check his bag. They knew already that what this man was going to do. That's why they did not check his bag. Or that's why they checked his bag and they saw what was in it and they allowed him go. Or they knew that they was working with this man. That's why they allowed him. He just freely got his pass with his Lalo and went and put it there. Knowingly at that time now, no common surveillance can be around that area, that building. Only CIA or Secret 7 can be in there. But they allowed this man carry a Lalo, put it there, and then walk on the Lalo, pa, 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 pa. With his back on him, behind his back, or with his rifle, claiming the Lalo. And they saw him going. And this man went lie down on top of the building. And so they are saying this man got rifle, this man is over the building. And then you're telling us it was complicated. Anyway, we understand. It failed because the attempted coup failed. Oh, we're going to let the world know that America just witnessed a coup, an attempted coup to assassinate Donald Trump. We're going to use the word. We just witnessed a coup attempted on Donald Trump because of power greed in the American democratic system. We just witnessed a coup attempt. We just witnessed a coup to assassinate Trump. We're going to use the word now, coup. We just witnessed a coup on Donald Trump in America. Well, I thought only Africa coup can be happening, but we just witnessed a coup d'etat. We just witnessed a coup d'etat in the US. to assassinate Trump. You want to make us believe that this was an individual thing? A lie. It was an inside job. Law enforcement has also warned of the potential for copycat attack and more violence. Yes, then how can you say they were informed? They knew what was going to happen, what was going to go on. We just witnessed a coup in America. The Secret Service always partner with local law enforcement when a presidential, political candidate or the high-level official come to town. And Saturday rally was no different. An advanced team come early to scoop out the scene and identify potential area of concern. There are vehicles move. Like you can't even see vehicle around the area. But this man drove and came with his vehicle. In fact, news that we have gotten, this man's vehicle was parked, I think, 10 miles or so. And FBI went and saw this man's vehicle and saw explosive weapon in it. And then you're telling us, look, man. Anyway, yeah, so they come in and make sure no ordinary vehicle are not around it. All right, they set a barrier. They block off road. So that means before the day of the rally, officers went in there, Secret Service went in there. Like we're saying, they examine the place all around. And then they change shift. A lot of people will come in, a lot of people go in and sleep there. And then when they sleep there, a lot of people will come in the morning, get report, and then before a lot of people go, whatsoever the case may be. But people sleep there on a day of the investigation, on a day of securing the place to make sure the place is safe. And that day, people are already in position to very level already. But they did not do it because it was an inside plan to carry on coup. It was a coup that went on. We ain't gonna call it any kind of goonie and thing. No, it was coup that went on. We just wasn't a coup because of power greed. Oh, so when in Africa, people, oh, okay. We just wasn't a coup d'etat in America. Anyway, let me take this out because of time. We can't read the whole article. But that was what went on, right? We may not get to Liberia because we actually is going to fall. So we will not get to Liberia. We may present Liberia another time. But that was what went on here. In fact, as the communication go on, right? Now, the Butler County local official, all right, that communicate with the Secret 7 weeks before Trump rally, before that day. The local sheriff of Butler, how they call it, county sheriff, right? They did communicate with Secret 7. They did tell them that we do not have the security force, the manpower, okay, to secure the area, to make sure that rally is safe. So we need assistance. We need a Secret 7. We need backup. And they never listened. They never even sent a communication back. According to the report, the Butler County sent to the Secret 7. They never sent, in fact, they never responded. And then another communication was sent again. No response. Do you see what is going on here? We just witnessed a coup attempt, a coup d'etat in the U.S. to assassinate Donald Trump. This was an inside job. And I will say this, if you are waiting to get full report that the CIA or the Secret Service going to tell you that it was an easy job, no. It's going to, look, the deceived victim, right? Or the alleged deceived, not the deceived victim, but the alleged deceived, he's the one going to carry the load. That's why it's going to stop. That's all. That's why it's going to stop. They're not going to come and tell you, say it was an inside job, it was a this. But hey, you see the evidence already. You know the foul play that went in there. You know why they don't want this man. Democrats know they cannot win the election. Democrats know they didn't do nothing. Democrats know they supported war. They took billions of dollars, support killing and looting of other nations, while black are fighting for reparation. Democrats is saying they are not going to get reparation, but they can take billions of dollars overnight and send it overseas to go destroy another nation, culture, and eat people. They know. They lose already. Your economy is scratching down, but overnight you can take $1 billion. Your school system, but overnight you can take $1 billion. Your educational system, but overnight you can take $1 billion. Students are crying for student or loan debt to be waived off. No job. After they finish get paid, they pay already go on bills. They can only get paid or money left to pay for student loan. They are telling you to come to their aid to help them, but you're not helping them. But overnight, you can take billions of dollars and send it overseas to go destroy another culture, to go kill another citizens. And you say people have the right to destroy, to dismantle, to put them under 6 feet. Why are economic crash? Democrat know she's going nowhere. So we just witnessed a coup attempt. We just witnessed a coup d'etat. We will call it raw coup d'etat. We ain't gonna give it any kind of good name, assassination plot, assassination failure. No, we will call it coup. That's the justification we'll give you. Coup d'etat. We just witnessed a coup d'etat. Because you wanted to kill another man who you do not want him to exercise his democratic right. He said he believes in democracy.
If you have 100 people who work for you for nothing for a week, you make a profit. If you have 1 million people who work for you for nothing for a year, you become wealthy. Well, then when you have millions of black people whom you can work for nothing for 310 years, you can easily see why America became the wealthiest and the most powerful country on earth faster than any country in history. I would like to point this out, Mr. Rustin. If you have 100 people who work for you for nothing for a week, you make a profit. If you have 1 million people who work for you for nothing for a year, you become wealthy. Well, then when you have millions of black people whom you can work for nothing for 310 years, you can easily see why America became the wealthiest and the most powerful country on earth faster than any country in history. I would like to point this out.
And that is why when black people ask for reparation, Joe Biden said he do not support reparation. But Joe Biden can send a bill in one day, billions of dollars to go Ukraine, to go Israel, to go destroy people. But you cannot send $1 billion a day to build a nation, $1 billion a day to build a people. And when these people say, no, we do not want Democrat, we are going to turn our attention elsewhere. Then you want to carry coup attempt? That was coup d'etat. Anyway, folks, thank you for being on. We just thought to bring this to alert African leaders to stop inviting the enemies to serve as international observer on any African elections. It is not only in Africa there is power struggle. There is also power struggle in the US. It is not only in Africa that when election time is coming, we experience locomotion of conflict and those things, or misunderstanding. In the US too, there is also conflict or locomotion or misunderstanding or fight. But guess what? They go through it and they still do it by themselves. Whatever the outcome is, they know who is their leader, they pick their leader. In the same way, they are not going to call any international observer. We should handle ourselves. When we say we are getting, did we talk about getting independent before? So when we talk about getting independent, today on the African continent, when we are celebrating independence, who did we talk about taking independence from? The same so-called West. If they had not colonized us, I don't think there was going to be Nigeria. If they had not colonized us, I don't think there were ever going to be Liberia, Guinea, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Mali, Burkina Faso, South Africa, Zimbabwe, or Senegal, Gambia, Zambia. All those places. There was never going to be name or such, and there was never going to be anything like independent. Africa was just going to be the same way, no boundary. They created boundary. It was not created by Africans. African people did not sit down to decide and say, we're going to create boundary. This place will be called Liberia. This place will be called Ghana. This place will be called whatsoever, XYZ. We did not create it. So when we're talking about independent, it's because of them. We were getting independent from. So how can we go to the same people that put in captivity, the same people that colonize us, the same people that destroy our culture, our spirituality, our existence, the same people we fought against for independence, then we go to the same people and ask them, how can we maintain our independence? Look, does it make sense? No, let me ask you this question again. The same people we fought to get independent from them, to take it from them. We take it from them. We take our freedom for them, our liberation from them, our land from them, our governmental system from them. And then we go back to them to ask them, how can we run our government? We go back to them to ask them, how can we maintain our freedom? We go back to them to ask them, how can we maintain our liberation? We go back to them to ask them, how can we maintain our land? We took from you. Does it make sense? Complete stupidity. You think they will give you any sense of direction? How to maintain your land? How to maintain a government? Or which government to carry out? Or how to serve your people? What kind of stupidness is this, African leaders, that we continue to do to ourselves? If not because of Europe and America, there was never going to be anything like Ghana, Nigeria, whatsoever, or Liberia, or Togo, or Sierra Leone, or Guinea. There was never going to be anything of such. It was just going to be the continent. That's it. It was just going to be the continent and 8 people. Period. We were never going to come and be talking about, oh, March 6 or 1957, that's Ghana Independent Day. Who did Ghana get independent from? Was it from African nations? Or it was from the same colonizer? Then how can Nana Akufo-Addo come to the same colonizer and ask them for protection? The same people you took your protection from, he said, no, we want to protect ourselves. Don't protect us. Then we tell them, go back, Nana Akufo-Addo, then you go back to them. That's what Nkrumah told you. Was that what that Kwame Nkrumah told you? That Nana Akufo-Addo, I'm fighting US, I'm fighting Europe for independence. And when I get independent, I expect it to go back to them to ask them, how can we maintain our independence? Is that what Nkrumah told you, Nana Akufo-Addo? Does it make sense? How can we go to the same people? The same people the same people we get our democracy. We say, no, we want our freedom, we want our democracy. Therefore, each time we have an election, then we call them to come and serve, to come and direct us. Have you seen the US go to Great Britain and ask them, because they gain their independence from them, right? Even though Great Britain did not enslave them, Great Britain did not take any resources from them. The only reason is they came from Great Britain and they killed the native. Because Great Britain sent them, they killed the native and they settled. And Great Britain was sponsoring them financially. And after they settled now, and then they told Great Britain, you know what, we can move on now. So they told Great Britain, we want to be independent. That was the only reason. Because they came from Europe. They came from Europe. The Europeans sent them to come and kill the native. That was the only reason. And it was being sponsored by the native. Not the native, they were being sponsored by Europe. And the army that they were using came from Europe. So that was the only reason they went to them and said, we want to get independent. Okay. But for clarity, when America have an election, they didn't go to Great Britain, say they get independent from them, to tell them, say, we need you to come and monitor our elections because you people are our colonial master. Why should we be so dumb and stupid? Always come to the enemies to come and tell them to come and monitor our election. Do they do it to their enemies? They just speak that way now. Do America do it to our enemies, which is Great Britain, that she came independent from? Do you see the Indian doing it, going to Great Britain? Because India was once also a colony to them. Do you see them going to Great Britain to tell them, say, come and monitor our elections? Do you see China that also suffer under America or the European? Do you see them coming to them and say, oh, we want to remove Xi Jinping? Do you see them? Only black nation will always do that. Come to the enemies and come and tell them, come and pick our leader for us. Come to the enemy and tell them, how can we maintain our resources? And then you get resources to them. What did we get independent for? Was our Nkrumah suffer for? Was our Amilcar Cabral die for? Was our Thomas Sankara die for? Was that what Patrick Lumumba died for? And all these people were killed by the colonialists. The same people you run to. The same people that killed Thomas Sankara. And you know it. And today, the same people want to assassinate Abraham Traore. And they're sending you so-called Africans to go kill Abraham Traore. And you sat down there, you wanted to go wage war on Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali. The same people say we'll sponsor you to go kill these people. And you wanted to do it. Is that what Nkrumah told you? Is that what Nkrumah told you? Or Gideon Nyari told you? Or Jomo Kenyatta told you? Is that what they told you? Grow up. See the reality. America does not know what they call democracy. There are also power struggle in here. Anyway, we're running out of time. This is today's message. Donald Trump, coup d'etat against Donald Trump was not planned. Was not staged. It was something planned inside job. But it was an attempted coup that failed. That's what we're going to call it. It was an attempted coup that failed. I see you on Saturday and either Sunday. We might be on this Saturday. And then I will see you Sunday as well. Thank you for being in. I know we've been here for long. I will not talk about Liberia because we run out of time. We already ran out of time. We're already out of time. So, I will try by all means and see what I can squeeze Liberia in. But if I get different topic for this coming weekend, I will not put Liberia in. So I might wait. Maybe the day it comes to my head to present it, I'll present it. But if not, I might still put Liberia in for this coming Saturday. Hopefully, I put it in if nothing comes in my head. But other than that, thank you for being on. We just want to clear this narrative because most of our people are running with it. And by the way, let me tell you this. Democrat is not speaking in your favor because Trump hates you, black people. Democrat is not speaking in your favor because Trump is a racist guy. Democrat do not care. Democrat do, in fact, it is even in Democrat favor, okay, for Trump to be racist because they will use that so they can get your vote. But at the end of the day, Will they do anything for you? Will Democrats do anything for you? It is in their favor. So for them to come and say, oh, do Democrats love you so much that over the 4 years, since they've been in power and Biden came in, have they done anything? The only thing Democrats know about black people is if you don't vote for them, you're not black enough. That's the only development they can get you. That's the only knowledge they can get you. And that's what Biden said. If you don't vote for me, you are not African American enough. That's the only development they can get black people, to make them understand that you are African American. That's the only development. So it's not because the rhetoric that, oh, Donald Trump racist, Donald Trump hate black people, Donald Trump this. Then you think Democrats love you? Look, this is not campaign for either Trump, Nala, Biden, okay, or Democrat or Republican. This is a campaign for my people to be aware, to wake up. That when Democrats can say, oh, don't vote for Trump because Trump is racist. No, vote for who you want to vote for. Nobody should change your mind. Because they themselves, they are racist. Because they do not do it for you to see it. Open rebuke is better than secret rebuke. Democrats do secret rebuke and Republicans do open rebuke. They tell you who they are, how they think about you. So you can be aware. So you can wake up. So you can bear yourself. Then Democrats who will come and rebuke you secretly, they don't tell you who you are. And you sit down there, you can't bear yourself. You can't do nothing. You can't unite. So for me, I like Donald Trump's perspective. Tell me how you feel about me. What are you like? Tell me. Don't do secret rebuke. And then you go and sit down and be gossiping about me. That's what Democrats do. If they lobby so much, they say, oh, don't vote for Trump. Like the way they finish doing it. Don't do this because Trump is this, Trump is that. What love have they shown to the black people? What love have they showing to the black community that Donald Trump will not do? That do something here now. What love have they shown you that Donald Trump will not do when he get in power or when you vote him in? What love have they shown you? That is frank here. Let us be real. So don't come and say, oh, Democrats say, but this person is racist. We can't vote for that person. We can't do that. We can't do this. What difference will it make if you put Trump in, if you vote for Trump? What difference will it make if you vote for Biden? For me, the difference is with Trump in power, I'll be aware and it will unite us. Do you know that when Trump in power, it unite black people became aware and black people were uniting, black people were connecting, black people were building mentally, spiritually. Do you know that? Do you know that it was Donald Trump time? That you start seeing our brothers and sisters even talking about going on the African continent? But all along, our brothers are always Europe, Australia, other places. But it was Donald Trump time. We start uniting. We start actually discussing. It was Donald Trump time. And that's what I love. And then when Biden came in, Democrat came in, we fought by again. We felt reluctant. And that's how black people are always. I don't know. That's the kind of nature. Even back home on the African continent, that's how they are. But anyway, the decision is yours. This is not a campaign message, all right? But just to open your eye that don't allow anyone to bring any kind of narrative to you that it was staged. Because people are going away. I have spoken to other people that I know. Do you think that thing was, no, that thing was staged. And I told them you got to go and find out for the story. It was not staged. It was an inside job. It was cool. It was a cool attempt that failed. But anyway, thank you for being on. Share the live, like, subscribe. I will see you on Saturday and also Sunday. Hopefully. Peace.